keys to the blockchain breeze. He's live every day, decode the mazes. JJ's Cryptic corner where the coins keep turning. Log in now, the future's burning. JJ's Cryptic corner. JJ's Cryptic corner. Pixels glow, charts flow. Crypto whispers, secrets show. He cracks the code on this winding road. JJ's Cryptic corner. JJ's Cryptic corner. JJ's Cryptic corner. JJ's Cryptic corner. JJ's Cryptic. Tune in, lean back, grab your coffee, hit the track. JJ's live, don't be late. Cryptic wisdom, seal your fate. JJ's Cryptic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Happy Monday. How's everyone doing today? Sound off in the chat. Smash the like button on your way in. I appreciate you guys for joining me. Let's take a look at the charts. Crazy day in the markets. What's going on? Gourmet Brands, Tom Selleck's GOAT. Everybody else? Anybody else? Let's see. Hey, what's going on, guys? Still in the bunker. Still a little bit spooky out there. I think tomorrow I might be good. Might be good to get back out on the dinghy. Tom Selleck's GOAT said down bad start of the day to up big by the end. Very nice. Bitcoin, $68,429.16. Let's go refresh our liquidation heat map and see where we're at. Gold, minor rebound on gold. Silver is what's most exciting to me. We talked about the fake out before the breakout, and that seems to be precisely what has occurred here. We had a lovely symmetrical triangle, and we talked about, at least in crypto specifically, whenever we get the initial move, the first move is usually the false move. That might be what has happened here, which is very exciting. It's cool to see precious metals back on board with the upside game. S&P, beautiful recovery as well. 1.42% candle on this 4-hour. Just that alone. Back above 6750. Nasdaq also looking really good. Extreme pump from the Nasdaq after gapping to the downside. This pump from the bottom is up 3.24%. Looking good. Bitcoin dominance. 59.08. We are back above 59, which is pretty crazy. We got to bounce right around 59 or 58.6-ish. In Bitcoin itself, some reason recoupling to the fractal, which we joked about yesterday. Apparently, that's what's happening. Very cool. Glad the market maker's paying attention to my streams. 69.505 on Bitcoin. 69.505. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. 69.505. There we go. And then the top of the top, I'm going to go all the way up here. 72.143. 72.143. And then the bottom of the bottom, I'm going to go all the way. We'll go right here. 65.759. And then the top of the bottom, we're going to go right here, which we're about to touch. 68.344. We'll see what plays out. As of right now, we're looking pretty good. Crypto Theory with G said, at this point, I think they just have a button that controls the market, lol. 100%. Tom Selleck said, bought MU last night, but was waiting to short oil until today or tomorrow. Waited too long, thought it was going higher. I did. I YOLO'd into an oil short, and it is printing. I'm very excited. Hopefully it's a forever short, and oil goes to zero, and I become a millionaire. That would be pretty sick. Crypto Spaces said, look at JJ, the great trader, getting a successful short in. GG, appreciate you. This might be my first successful short. Ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement to make. I am in a successful short position as we speak. which probably means oil's gonna skyrocket tomorrow. Please go fill up your tanks. It's over. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't tell anyone this. I did deposit some money into my my BitUnix account, and I did open up a short on Cardano at the bottom. So I lost like $5 on that. Just want to be fully transparent here. I made a sacrifice, and somehow that was the bottom, and I reversed the market, which was pretty cool. I was gonna post about it and make a joke, but then it came true a little too fast, and I was embarrassed, so I just kept my mouth shut. Please avert your attention to the poll in the chat. We got 3 votes so far. Be honest, did you buy the dip last night? Yes, I always buy the dip. No, I thought we were doomed. Yes, but on accident. Or no, this is a fake out bull trap. Let me know what you guys think. Helps bring attention to the stream. Also, share the stream if you can. Smash the like button. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. It's been pretty bleak. Today's the first. Actually, yesterday was pretty good as well. But yesterday, first days in a while where it seemed like there was an audience, which is pretty cool. Tom Sellis Code said, nah, I ran out of missiles and we guiding ships through. Everything gonna be fine. Do I go through the charts? I feel like we should go through the charts. ETH up 0.03. We got a red candle right here down 2%. That's actually pretty spicy. Seemingly rejecting 2K. We are back below at 1992. It was a great year. I was -1. Can we get back above 2K and hold it? We're really struggling with that for ETH for some reason. Might be a great buy opportunity though. Solana, not struggling nearly as much. ETH, we had a -2% candle. Solana's red candle is -1.1. Not that bad. It's at 84.87. Still can't stay above 85, but we are above 80. We've stayed above 80 this whole time, which is exciting. Psychological standpoint, Solana seems to be better off than ETH overall. I mean, personally, I would buy Sol anyways. When you look at it in the top 10, it's lost so many slots in the top 10. It just seems like a no-brainer. Whoa, their logo moves now. That's so sick. Look at that. They're paying the big money to have the moving logo. Polkadot let their contract expire. I think it was like $100K or $1 million a year to CoinMarketCap to have a moving logo. And Polkadot was the only one in the top 100 that had it. And I don't know if you guys know this. Polkadot's logo. Oh, I gotta switch the screen back. Hold on. Polkadot's logo kind of looks like a butthole. Where is it? I don't know who designed this, and somebody paid for it. People authorized it. Like, there was a team that was like, yes, I love that. Let's go with that one. This is a great idea. Like, somebody drafted this, and then somebody else approved it. Where the hell is it? Is Polkadot out of the top 100? What? There's no way. Did they change their logo? They changed it a little bit. It used to be pink. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's right here. So this is what it used to look like. And the background was black, though, and the actual like butthole shape was pink. And it would change to a little flame. And then it would change back to the butthole. So it was like a flaming butthole. And they paid CoinMarketCap, I think it was like $1 million a year to have that animated feature. Okay, hold on. OKB moves. There's more. Polkadot was ahead of the time, man. Ahead of their time. They wasted all their money paying for that during a bear market. Solana moves. That's so sick. I don't know. I think the flaming butthole was beautiful. I don't know why they got rid of it. They changed it to like an angled butthole in the dark. Okay. Tom Selix Goat. Yep. Crypto Theory said $5 loss. I bet you're in a midlife crisis. LOL. I mean, I imagine the amount of money that I put on to lose $5 and then close it and be embarrassed about it. I have not traded in so long that I was like, I'm gonna throw like $20 into my BitUnix account and I'm gonna make $100. Yeah. I was so ready. I was done, dude. I was so done. I was like, I'm just gonna short the shit out of this. It's going to zero. Nothing happened. It just immediately bounced. And then I was like, damn it. It always happens every time. That Pulse Player said, lower lows incoming. That's a possibility, always. Crypto Theory said the entire year news versus price action has made absolutely no sense. 100%. And what's crazy is we've been stuck in this weird sideways limbo since the beginning of the year, essentially, for Bitcoin at least. Let me go back. Where's Bitcoin? I moved the damn thing around. No, it's February, I guess. It is February. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Total 3 down 0.02. We are still, well, actually, we're back above 700 billion. That's huge. That's a big deal. So, can we get above 720 next? 711, kind of, I don't know, an idea with 711. We'll see if we can get above that. ADA below 26.22, which is a little bit spicy. I'm not a fan of that, but the first 2 times that happened, we at least were able to bounce and get above. Can we use 25 as a support level and get back above 26.22? It does look like we rejected, though. I don't know. We might be heading down. I don't know, man. It's gonna be spicy. Snack, beautiful recovery. We had a huge buy rate here that got eaten up by some Jeets, so who knows, man. Like I said, it might be following the spicy, angry, sad, depressing fractal. And if it does, then I'm going to be buying more. That's what we're here for. Midnight, up 0.03, kind of bouncing off of 5.4. Now, we've watched this range play out way too many times to kind of dismiss it right out the gate. I'm not going to be buying. Well, maybe I am. I don't know. Maybe I am a buyer at this level. I don't know. We got a nice oversold getting bought up on the RSI on the 4-hour. Green dotted momentum wave point to the upside. Are we going to bounce off that moving average on the RSI? We're not even quite touching it. I don't know, man. Crypto Theory said since October 10th, the market been putting belt to, yeah. I think the October 10th thing was like I don't know if it was a test or if they just kind of accidentally like made the market look really manipulatable and shitty. And then everyone that was involved since that point was like, ooh, I don't want to touch that. That's a mess. That's what it seems like to me. Like, imagine you're thinking about getting into crypto and then you witness October 10th play out. You're probably going to step away and be like, I'm not touching that, dude. That happened to Bitcoin. And then that led to all of us cascading and all of these other coins. Why would I want to buy any of those? And I've talked about this too, I think yesterday. Why would all of these big players, these big asset managers, risk some third-party software? Why wouldn't they just develop their own blockchain software? You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just my opinion. Midnight. Potential bounce. We'll see what happens. XRP down 0.15. Like I said yesterday, are we going down to $1? We did get below 134 for a hot second. Got back above it. Are we going to continue to trade in this range? Or are we going to see, I don't know, break below and then an eventual continuation of the downside? If we do lose 134, 135, then 125 should be pretty hefty support level next. We got this nice little cloud, though, on Market Cipher. So let's see if that pushes us up, gives us any significant upside. And if we do, we'll look at $1.50 next for upside. H-bar, bottom of the range. SWI, I'm going to lightning round these guys. SWI, kind of middle of the range, skewer. Ondo, bottom of the range. Arrow, bottom of the range. Polkadot. Polkadot's still holding up really good, dude. I'm very surprised with Polkadot. Avalanche. You know what? If Polkadot would have kept the flaming butthole logo, they'd probably be at $10 right now. Avalanche. Kind of at the top of the range, actually. Avalanche has potential here. I'm telling you guys, Avalanche below 10, I've been adding to this every single week. I think it's a steal. Chainlink, same thing. 886, even better. We're struggling to get above $9 for Chainlink specifically. Avalanche is struggling to get above $9.50. Chainlink struggling to get above $9. I want to see which one hits $10 first, man. Let's do that poll next. We got 4 votes. I'm going to end it. I asked you guys, to be honest, did you buy the dip last night? 50% of you guys said yes, I always buy the dip. 25% of you said no, I thought we were doomed. And 25% of you guys said no, this is a fake out bull trap. Nobody said yes, but on accident. All right, next poll. Which reaches $10 first? We've got Chainlink, Avalanche, Silver, or Solana. Let me know what you guys think. Which one reaches $10 first? Is Link gonna pump to 10? Avalanche gonna pump to 10? Silver dump to 10? Or Solana dump to 10? Let me know. All right, let's continue. Doge. Doge is at the bottom of the range too. Dang. We were expecting this thing to hit 10 cents. I was not expecting it to hit 9. 9's pretty spicy. Doge is a household name. Is this the dump chop, dump continuation for pretty much all of these altcoins. I don't know. Crypto Theory said, my bad, I jumped off the porch a long time ago. Just got educated and now I play dumb for the bots, lol. What? I think you're doing a good job. Gold still chilling, 51.37. It was looking a little bleak yesterday. Got a little funky. We got this big fat red candle. Definitely fear-mongering, scaring people out of their positions. Got scooped right back up. You're in kind of a sideways channel right now. Are you going to ever get back above 52? 52 seems to be the current resistance right now. 5200. Let's see if we can get back above that. And then we got a support, essentially. I don't know. What's this? Let's just go 5. Well, we'll go 50-50. Yeah, we'll go 50-50 for the support there. Tom Selska said, bros huff and glue. I feel like most of us have to. In order to be in crypto, in order to be investing in general, I don't know if you guys have seen the market, in order to buy anything, stock, precious metals, crypto, you probably have to huff glue. It is a requirement at this point to be an investor in 2026 under the Trump administration. Oh, delicious. That's so good. Okay, let's continue. Silver. I'm so excited about silver. Crypto Theory said, you got a black friend now, lol. Just know that. Hell yeah, Crypto Theory. You in Detroit? I'm like an hour north of you. Appreciate you, my friend. All right, CFDs on silver. Silver, we got upper trend line, lower trend line. We did a fake out to the downside and a breakout to the upside. We like that. Very cool. 80 was the support here, man. 80 was the support. What the hell is that? That's not what I was looking for. 80 was the support. And then 82 was kind of like the middle ground. We kind of played around between those two. And then eventually, after the fake out, the lower trend line, we came back in, upper trend line resistance, lower trend line support, bam, broke the upper trend line. We're currently sitting at 87.24. Next, we're going to try, I'm assuming we're going to try for 90. We haven't quite hit there yet. It's going to be psychological level. We'll see what happens. Why do I keep pulling that up? Texas? Ooh, even better. All right, very cool. You ever come up to Michigan, let me know. If I ever come down to Texas, I'll hit you up. I think that'd be cool if we did like a eventual like subscriber road trip and we could see. I'll have to live stream and report where I'm going next. So if I do disappear, there'll have to be some kind of KYC for the viewer road trip. So in case I do disappear, you guys know where to find my seed phrase and shit. I still think it'd be sick to do like a meet and greet, but instead of going to like a stupid convention or it being like some boring like, oh, come, let's go hang out at the casino for like a day, we did like I want to rent like a McMansion in Nashville. I think it'd be so cool if we all got organized in Discord or something, and we all just pooled our money and rented a gigantic house in Nashville, and we all just went there for like, I don't know, 3-4 days. I think that'd be so much fun. That would be so much freaking fun. All right, 87.24 on silver. It's looking good, man. I'm getting inverse Bart vibes. We'll see what plays out. Crypto Theory said, retired Army vet here. I just got time now because LOL. That's awesome, dude. Thank you for your service. Appreciate you. Retired Army vet. Absolutely. We got legends in the chat, man. What the heck? And you got a little alien there? I'm sorry. Were you stationed at Area 51? Is that what you're saying right now? Were you stationed at Area 51? You have to tell me your secrets in the Discord. Since Discord's definitely not monitored by the CIA or FBI or anything like that. You know what my favorite thing is so far? I don't remember, was it Telegram or the other one? WhatsApp? One of the ones that like Facebook owns. I think it was WhatsApp. People were like, the company can read your text or can read your messages. And I'm like, no shit. I don't know who in their right mind was using these encrypted apps thinking that the company couldn't read them. The company is the one that's showing you the message. What are you talking about? The encryption is like crossing the bridge. But on either end of the bridge, when you leave and when you arrive, The message, you are the message, is the company. So you're leaving the company, they encrypt across the bridge, and then you get to the other end, they decrypt for you. They can read your message. You are the reason, or they are the reason you can read the message. So clearly they can decrypt your message. Don't ever think that anything on the internet is anonymous. You can never hide anything on the internet. Just always assume. Also, don't store your seed phrases on your phone, please. People do that. I don't know why. And then they're like, oh, I got hacked. Literally had a conversation with a guy in an X space one time who was the head of a project, and he had like millions of dollars. And he's like, I just keep my seed phrase in my notes on my iPhone. And I was like, why would you ever do that? That's the dumbest thing. And he was like, well, it's not that big of a deal. And then, no joke, like a month later, the dude reports in his Discord that his wallet got hacked, and they got like $2 million or some ridiculously large amount of money. I was like, damn. Bro was being all cocky about his stupid notes app on his iPhone. Shit's not safe, man. I'm telling you. Write it down on a piece of paper. It's not that hard. If you want to get really spicy about it, get a metal stamping kit off Amazon, and then hide that shit, like bury it in your yard in different areas. Crypto Theory said 2 gigahertz bandwidth is the same as sonar we can see in your house. Oh, I knew that. I knew that too. That was my favorite. People are like, they're listening to you. I'm like, who cares? What am I saying in my house? Am I plotting like Kingpin? Plotting my next gigantic drug deal? I probably shouldn't be breaking the law to that extent. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to care if I talk about, oops, I rode past a stop sign today. If they're going to bust down my door for that, then good on them, man. It's my tax money, hard at work. But I'm not sitting here, breaking the law. I don't give a shit. They're going to watch me shower and shit? That's weird. More power to you, man. If you want to put that much effort into seeing me in the bathroom, that's weird, but sure. Sure. All right, we're waiting, obviously, for ISM print at the beginning of next month. DXY took a big dump. We rejected 99.6, a weird number, but it happens. And we're currently sitting at potential support around 98.75. Let's see if we get a proper bounce off of that. So what we did, we talked about our bear pennant here and our breaking bullish of this bear pennant, which whenever we get an invalidation of a bearish pattern, it's always violent invalidation. We violently invalidated to the upside, hit our essentially the same top that we hit last time, and peaked around 99.4, 99.5, 99.6, same levels. We got a bit of a potential, what are we going to call this? It's either the Mothman, the Batman. I'm seeing some kind of like bat right here. I'm going to call it a Batman. We got a potential Batman Bart scenario. Obviously, we're holding above 98.75 right now. If we break below that, though, then the potential is still there. Now, we do have to wait until May, June for Warsh to come in. Warsh is historically a dollar bull, so he might push this pretty high. As of right now, though, it seems like we're potentially rejecting 100, which could be good for risk on assets. Just something to keep an eye on. This thing's showing immense strength, so be careful, because when it does pump, it pumps pretty hard. It was a little spicy and boring, a little dumpy, and then all of a sudden it broke bullish. So this thing's coming back with a vengeance. Something to keep in mind. Dow Jones, still below 50,000. Again, bad news for anyone breaking the law out there. The Dow is below 50,000, so watch out. You may go to jail. 47,742. Yeah, we've rejected successfully 50K. Are we getting a support bounce off of what? I'm going to call it 47. 47.75? I don't know. Arbitrary number somewhere in there, I'm sure. Or maybe right here. Yeah, it's up in the air. Your guess is as good as mine. Nasdaq up 0.03. This thing responded pretty violently to the upside. That's exciting. So we got a gap down. The gap down was approximately 1.39% negative. And then we went down a little bit further, and then we pumped from that Pico low. We are currently sitting up 3.25%, which is pretty significant for the Nasdaq. We're sitting at 24,856. Can we get back above 25K? So far, we've rejected, but that is the spot that we're watching. Are we going to form some kind of a, I don't know, floor around 24.4 where we bounced before? I'm not trying to say a bunch of the same or words at the same time, but coincidence. Sometimes I rhyme. S&P up 0.83, another rhyme. I don't know what happened, man. 67.50. Back above it. Very good. Let's see. We bounced off of 66.8 with a nice wick. The S&P never really looked that bad, man. It really didn't. Crypto Theory said investing is an infinite money glitch in theory. Just wait. Warren Buffett wasn't smart. He just Rosa Parks the market. 100%. So, Crypto Theory, there's a book link in the description if you want to buy the hardcover. If you're not a hardcover guy, I don't like reading. It dries my eyes out. The audiobook is free when you have Amazon Prime. It is called, what is it called? Oh, shit. The Guide to, let me see, hold on. It is called The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. Great guy. You could probably get a TLDR, honestly. What I tell you is probably just as equivalent as listening to that whole thing. I listen to the whole thing. It's quite redundant. But The Simple Path to Wealth is very simple. And the lack of sexiness, I think, is why a lot of people don't follow it. They want to become day traders and, like, have this crazy, you know, I made $47 million because I bet against the market and all this crazy shit happened. That doesn't happen to, like, 99.99% of people. That does not happen. If you think that you're lucky enough to be the 0.01, more power to you. But if you want to accumulate $1 million by the time you retire, it's as easy as this. Are you ready? These are the 3 steps in J.L. Collins' book. I take no credit for this. Avoid debt, live on less than what you earn, and invest the surplus. So if you make $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month, do not max out your credit cards. If you get a loan to build credit, whatever, make sure you pay it off. Avoid debt. It does not say don't get debt at all. Just avoid it. Avoid debt. Live on less than what you earn, I think, is the biggest one. You have to calculate your monthly expenses and make sure you're not spending nearly as much as that. And then whatever you have left over, you just invest. Even if it's just $100, man. But a couple hundred is even better. A couple grand is even better. The more you can invest, the more, like, the less time it'll take for you to become a millionaire. And the average return of the S&P 500, I think over the last 25, 40 years, is like 10% annually. So 25 years, if you invest $100 a week, it'll take you approximately 25 years to become a millionaire. Then you can do the math there. If you double it, it'll probably take you half the time. Compounding will probably take even less time. You can ask Grok. Grok will do the math for you. Let's actually ask. Let's go really quick. Okay. Yeah, okay. If I have an extra, let's just say $500 a month. No, let's go $600. An extra $600 a month to invest. And I invest in just the S&P 500 based on the overall average annual return from the S&P. How long, starting from 0 and compounding, would it take for me to make $1 million? Let's just do the math really quick before I get this. 600 divided by 4, that's 100. Let's do 150 a week. 150 a week instead of 600 a month. 150 a week. And I invest in the S&P based on overall annual return from the S&P 500. Okay, go. Let's see what Grok says on that. Nvidia's up 2.72%. We're looking like a little potential W going on here. That'd be pretty cool. See what plays out. I don't have my, I'm not going to hold my breath here. Looks quite similar to this on a smaller scale. Overall, this thing's just kind of trading sideways. It's up pretty high, I'm not saying it's going to drop, but this extended cool-off is probably going to continue. I don't know how long, but we're going to have to wait and see. Tesla, up 0.49. This thing has a very clear trajectory on the higher time frame. Again, we don't know if it's going to maintain this trajectory, or again, I talked about how easy it is to edit this because it's a curving parabola. Technically speaking, Tesla could just end up doing one of these. But if it's going to continue its exponential growth, which I kind of expect it to, maybe a prolonged pullback, I'm going to probably look for 500 or more before the end of the year, maybe? Yeah, I don't hate that. Tom Selleck Scott said buy VOO and chill. Is that okay? Yes, Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. So the one that J.L. Collins talks about, is it this one? J.L. Collins favorite index. He always talks about Vanguard something. VTSAX. VTSAX. Total Stock Market Index. Yeah, it's very similar. He always preaches about this one. He's like, if you buy this, and his voice, he's very, like, if you want to fall asleep, listen to this guy's audiobook. Definitely don't want to listen to it while you're driving. But he's got that kind of voice. He talks about this VTSAX. This is his favorite for sure. But it's very similar to the S&P. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Yeah, look at this daily candle. Pretty awesome. 67.95. We got a lot of news to get to today. I got some weird sinus thing going on. MicroStrategy, aka Big B Coffee. In case you guys are not aware, the reason I call it Big B Coffee is because whoever designed the logo for Strategy copied off the Big B Coffee logo. I have reason to believe, insider information, that they may have worked at Big B Coffee, and Saylor hired them through the drive-thru. I cannot confirm or deny if that is true. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, so do not invest based on that information alone. 137.33, Big B Coffee, aka MicroStrategy. We got a clear 140 resistance, and that is specifically this entire level right here is below. Having trouble getting back above. Let's see if we can break above 140 and start trading to the upside. Strategy, I feel like, deserves a little more momentum here. Let me check Bitmine, probably way below. It's at 20 bucks. This thing's been at 20 bucks since February, just like the rest of the market. Stock market, crypto, everything since the beginning of February has been incredibly sideways and boring. Tom Selleck said best part of the stream right here, so get in, y'all. Tom Selleck likes when I tell the MicroStrategy part. Okay, Bitcoin. Turning green here, 68,922. The fractal is in tactile. I'm so sorry. Let's end the current poll. We got 4 votes. Oh, actually, Chainlink. You guys are thinking Chainlink. Really? Chainlink is actually struggling more than Avalanche. I asked you guys which reaches $10 first. 50% of you guys said Chainlink. 25% said Avalanche. 25% said Solana. 0% said Silver. Very cool. Next poll. All right, this one's going to be very, very important. Pick one. The rest disappear forever. Why can't I spell disappear right? What the hell? Okay. Vacations. Paid time off. Movie theaters. Restaurants and bars. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. This might be the most important poll we have ever done. Pick one, the rest disappear forever. Vacations, paid time off, movie theaters, or restaurants and bars. Let me know in the chat. Or let me know in the poll. Just answer the damn poll. Let's continue. Really quick. It would take approximately 27 years to reach $1 million starting from zero by investing $150 per week, $7,800 per year, S&P 500 without continued compounding. Long-term average annual return, starting balance 0, 150 at the end of each week. Return 10% annual. Oh, okay. Converted an equivalent weekly rate of about point blah, blah, blah. So it dropped. Interesting. 27 years. So, okay, what if I double that? What if I double that and can invest? Well, let's just go 250. What if I can invest $250 a week? How long would it take to reach $1 million then? All right. News segment. Let me know if you guys got any questions in the chat or any chart requests. Tom Selleck Scout said, I mean, if you pick anything other than movie theaters, you need your head examined. I do thoroughly enjoy movie theaters. Paid time off. I could care less. Vacations. I do like me some vacations. Restaurants and bars. Vacations are so hit or miss, though, and I feel like a weekend getaway. There's semantics around that. If I wanted to cheat my way into answering the poll easily. Restaurants and bars, I could care less. Food trucks are just as fun. All right, news segment. Watcher Guru, or Whale Guru, I'm sorry, posted, breaking, Iran full surrender and markets pump. Just got off a call with my insider in Washington, D.C. He told me Iran is about to completely surrender and bend the knee to the United States of America. This will lead to a massive market pump starting when futures open tomorrow night. Bookmark this post and check on 12th March. Very cool. Let's see what happens. CoinVo Trading posted. Now this is a double-edged sword. It is quite sad. I'm never happy for people to lose their homes. I just want houses to be cheaper. So if you're struggling with your mortgage and you're being greedy, maybe lower your price on your house if you're trying to sell it. I'm just saying. I'm not going to celebrate people losing their homes, though. But we got Google searches for help with mortgage hitting their highest level in 20 years. People can't sell their houses, and now they can't pay their mortgage. It's getting spicy out there, guys. This is absolutely insane. From Bull Theory 21 hours ago, the closure of the Strait of Hormuz has triggered the worst global energy crisis since the 1970s, per the Wall Street Journal. Oil is now up 26% in less than 24 hours and 75% since the U.S.-Iran war started. This is now crashing the global market. This is at $117. Tom Selleck said, I guess if you're hourly paid time off, doesn't matter, but I'm not. Sung Hoon Lee posted, this is the fake IQ guy. He posted this gigantic thing. He thinks all of this craziness is going to go down. Basically, peak fearmonger. This is now the largest oil supply shock in human history. Here's exactly what happens next. The numbers just came in. Process this. 20 million barrels per day. See, he doesn't talk about the time, though. The amount of time that transpires. 4 times larger, blah, blah, blah. Step 1, oil explodes. Step 2, inflation spike. Step 3, consumer spending collapses because people can't afford to go anywhere. Groceries are too high. Everything's expensive. Earnings crumble. The market crashes. Credit markets seize. Global contagion. Europe gets 30 to 40% of gas from routes through this region. They're first to break. Taiwan, 11 days of LNG reserves. TSMC goes dark. Chips stop. Emerging markets that import 100% of oil. Currency crisis. Defaults collapse. China's economy already weak. This tips it over. They're showing you missile interception videos and victory speeches. They're not showing you that 20 million barrels per day just vanished from the global supply chain. And the last time a shock even 1/4 this size happened, it triggered the worst recession in 50 years. Every previous oil shock was smaller. Everyone caused a recession. This one is 4 times bigger than the worst one. So all it needs to be is less than 25% of the amount of time. The cruise said, sup JJ, what's going on the cruise? Gourmet Brand said, when we're all in Nashville at the sausage party, we should launch a meme coin on a live stream, Cryptic Corner coin. I mean, I'm not going to have my name on it. That'd be fun though. But no, I don't want to rug people. Look at the fractal. What is going on here, guys? What if the fractal was right this all along and this is just an anomaly? Wouldn't that be so crazy? That would be the dumbest thing, dude. Just the timeline matches up so perfectly. That would be insane. It's literally, I think what did I copy paste? Copy pasted something. It's like an ascending, was it this? Maybe it was this. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was that. I think it was this. I think I copy pasted this. That time frame. I was like, this looks kind of similar. It was only 3 months. That'd be kind of crazy. 88 Metals Mania said, yo, what's going on, 88 Metals Mania? All right. 68,000. Or no, I'm sorry. 69,142. What? Bullish Bitcoin. What is going on? I'm telling you guys, I accidentally shorted oil at the perfect time. Like, I purposely shorted Cardano and got rugged like an idiot because I shorted the Pico low. Like a little baby. And now I shorted oil. at the Pico high, the Pico top, and I'm excited because my short's actually printing, which blows my mind. All right, let's continue. Highest IQ guy that has not been validated by anybody ever, apparently, thinks that we're going into like the worst recession on the planet. The G7, this was 19 hours ago. The G7 countries are considering a joint release of oil from reserves, potentially as much as 400 million barrels as oil prices skyrocket. Details include the release would be potentially coordinated by the International Energy Agency. 3 G7 countries, including the U.S., have so far expressed support for the idea. U.S. officials believe a joint release in range of 300 to 400 million barrels is appropriate. G7 countries currently hold 1.2 billion barrels of oil in the reserves. Oil prices are back below 108 per barrel on the news. 19 hours ago, oil was $108 a barrel, just so you guys know. 8 hours ago, Breaking 911 posted, ships are reportedly crossing the Strait of Hormuz. They are reportedly turning off their transponder before passing through and switching them back on afterward. Number go up. Gourmet Brand said, how about sausage coin? I'm not going to make any promises. You guys got to give me drunk or something if you want me to launch a coin. All right, excuse me. I gotta take a Pepsid. We're getting a little acid reflux here. I don't like to take a whole one though, because these fuckers are expensive. All right, let's continue. Very exciting stuff. I think Trump called them pussies or something, and they were like, "What?" And they started passing through. Coin Bureau, 13 hours ago, breaking. Nasdaq partners with Kraken. This one's awesome. Awesome news. To push 24/7 tokenized stock trading. Nasdaq is working with crypto exchange Kraken to develop tokenized versions of stock and ETFs that can be traded 24 hours a day. The initiative could launch around 2027 and would give token holders the same rights as traditional shareholders. Let's frickin' go. That's so sick. Silver crashed below $80, falling over 5% today. That was 23 hours ago. Look at silver now. Every time, man. Every time one of these sites posts about it, is probably a good idea to buy. I'm telling you, every single time. They're like, Bitcoin crashes below 67K. That was the buy. It immediately rebounds. Every single time. Brent crude oil surges to 115, up 25% per day. Or today. That was 22 hours ago. 22 hours ago, Jim Cramer says he does not see a path to de-escalation between the U.S., Israel, and Iran. Thank you, Jim Cramer. You have saved us. We need a cardboard cutout of Jim Cramer. Let's do that. Hold on. We got 5 votes on the poll. Oh no, we're tied. All right. We need one more vote on the poll to break the tie between paid time off and movie theaters. World's largest oil company, Saudi Aramco, cuts production at 2 oil fields. It's getting spicy. That was 13 hours ago. Michael Saylor's strategy buys 17,994 Bitcoin worth $1.28 billion. Wow. Saylor scooped the shit out of that dip. What a freaking legend. I don't know that I've seen a buy this big before. That's crazy. Bitmine bought 60,976 ETH worth 122 million. Gotta pick up your game, Tom Lee. Saylor's beating your ass. Over 900 billion wiped out from the U.S. stock market at open. That was 10 hours ago. Got spicy, man. Anthropic sues U.S. government over being labeled a national security risk. Hell yeah, get him. Get him. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong says, soon there will be more AI agents than humans making transactions. They can't open a bank account, but they can open a crypto wallet. You know what they can't open, Brian Armstrong? A Coinbase account. Because Coinbase requires KYC. What's up with that, my guy? 88 Metal said, at like 7.5K, LOL. He sure did buy the dip. Who? What did I miss? Oh, 70 point. Yes, Sailor. Yeah. Right. Yeah. All right. 4.8 trillion. JP Morgan says the S&P 500 could fall by 10%. That was 8 hours ago. 4 hours ago, Brent crude oil falls under $90 from its 117 high, crashing over 23%. Again, we accidentally, perfectly shorted the Pico top of oil. President Trump considers taking over Strait of Hormuz, opening access to oil routes. CBS reports, let's freaking go. Marty Party, Dubai Real Estate Market Index, the DFM, down 21% in 8 days. Stablecoin adoption accelerating. Global insurance broker AON tests stablecoin payments with Coinbase and Paxos. The firm used USDC on Ethereum and PayPal USD on Solana for insurance premium payments, testing how stablecoins could reshape settlements. Very freaking cool. Stablecoin mint 2 minutes ago. Another 250 million USDC issued on Solana, rolling 1 week, $2 billion. Wow. The stablecoin adoption, I really do feel like stablecoins are going to spearhead adoption. And they're going to be completely separated from crypto by the time we reach that peak. Gourmet Brand said Sailor, that was a big buy, bigger than usual. It was, dude. He's never done billions, as far as I can tell. Maybe he has in the past, but it's been a long time since we've seen anything above $1 billion. Anything above 1 billion from Sailor. Breaking, silver and gold prices fall, now down nearly 3% on the day despite escalating tensions in the Middle East. That was yesterday. Yesterday as well, Japan's stock market fell over 5%. Their initial reaction to oil prices surging to fresh 4-year highs. 23 hours ago, U.S. oil futures, this is from Kobayashi letter now, by the way. 23 hours ago, U.S. oil futures now on track to rise 60% this month, marking their largest monthly gain in history. This follows the 34.5% gain recorded last week, the largest weekly gain on record in data going back to 1982. We are all witnessing history. Telling you guys, every single day, we witness history, or it's a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence. Every day. Silver, or I'm not silver. Crude oil, WTI was at 107 at the time of this post. Kobayashi letter 23 hours ago. The world is now experiencing the largest oil supply shock in history, losing nearly 20 million barrels of oil supply per day. Top oil supply shocks, Hormuz closure now, minus 20 million per day. Iranian Revolution, 1978, minus 5.5 million. Yom Kippur War, 1973, minus 4.5 million. Iraq-Kuwait War, 1990, minus 4.3 million. Iran-Iraq War, 1980, minus 4 million. And Russia-Ukraine War, 2022, minus 2 million. The current supply shock is roughly the same size as the top 2 through 6 combined. That's freaking crazy. Just watch oil right now. 9:48 p.m. Eastern Time. U.S. prices rose to 113 for the first time since June 2022. Just 2 minutes later, added another $2 per barrel. Oh, we read that yesterday. Why is that up here then? Today is one of those days that will be referenced for decades to come. Oil prices are up 25% on Sunday. U.S. stock market futures racing over 2 trillion and 20 million barrels per day of oil supply offline with no signs of de-escalation. This market never ceases to amaze. Gourmet Brands said crude filled the CME gap from last night's opening. 88 Metals said how things change in 15 hours on them oil tweets. Oh, dude, the fear-mongering was so out of control. It was crazy. People were talking about the world ending and Israel basically like causing nuclear war and all this crazy shit. And I was like, there's no way. There's no way. Like, people got so carried away so quickly. And then I saw somebody was like, I'm YOLOing into this in the morning, and it was a crude oil short. And I was like, why not? I like to gamble. So I did it. I set it up, and it's printing. I'm very excited. This might be my first successful short in history. Very excited. Cheers, guys. If you guys, too, want to gamble degeneratively, sign up for Kalshi with my link in the description. Deposit and trade with $25 or more, and we'll both earn $25 in non-withdrawable site credit. Link in the description. Help support the channel. It is gambling, though. Degenerate gambling at that. So treat it as such. Do not play with more than you can afford to lose. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not take this as financial advice. CoinMarketCap fear and greed is at 23. Yesterday we were at 21, so we are 2 less scared today. I think we're at 7 or 8 on CoinGlass. Today we're at 12, and the stock market fear and greed is at 27. Top 10 looks the same. We're waiting for Solana to get out of the top 7 slot. I want it to move to 6 or 5. XRP and BNB allegedly duking it out. I don't know. Does XRP's logo move too? What? What is it even doing? It's just twisting a little bit. That's so funny. Why does your logo need to move? I don't know. Oh my gosh, Doge is doing it too. Do they all just do it? Tron's not doing it. I don't know. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. We're trying to hit 2K subscribers at some point in the near future. We got 5 votes so far. Let's get one more vote on that poll. One more vote on the poll in the chat. Bitcoin, $69,196.66. Was that all just one big bear trap? Jim Kramer says, I don't see a path to de-escalation. Thank God. As U.S. oil prices now near $120 a barrel, this is 21 hours ago, Our models indicate that if current levels are sustained for 3 months, U.S. CPI inflation would rise to 3.7%. This would put U.S. inflation at its highest level since September 2023. Retail investors' risk appetite is through the roof. February was the 5th strongest month on record for individual investor equity purchases. Retail investors have now purchased stocks for 26 consecutive months. By comparison, the 2020-2022 period saw 29 straight months of buying. Furthermore, average daily retail options volumes in 2026 are now 14% above 2025 levels. This is also up 47% compared to the 2020-2025 average. Retail is one of the strongest forces in the market. Since when? Retail has like between 1 and 5% of the buying power of institutions. I'm not sure how we're the strongest. But okay, sure. U.S. oil prices fall $15 per barrel 18 hours ago. In under 2 hours, now trading below 104 per barrel, on reports that G7 countries are considering releasing 400 million barrels of crude oil reserves. Hell yeah. Breaking, U.S. oil prices are currently attempting one of their biggest reversals in history. At 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, U.S. oil prices were up as much as 30% on the day. This is 18 hours ago. The Financial Times reported that the G7 countries are considering releasing 400 million barrels of crude oil from reserves. Less than 4 hours later, U.S. oil prices are nearing 100 per barrel, and now up 12% on the day, erasing more than half of their daily gain. Can oil markets erase today's rally? Spoiler alert, yes they can. 14 hours ago, U.S. oil prices extended their reversal, now dropping below $100 per barrel and up just 9% on the day. We are witnessing one of the biggest daily crude oil reversals in history. Every single day we witness something in history. The G7 countries are buying time. Last night, Financial Times reported that the G7 countries are considering releasing oil reserves potentially as much as 400 million barrels as oil prices skyrocket. This sent prices down nearly 20% in an effort to buy time, but how long will it last? The G7 countries have 1.2 billion barrels of crude oil reserves, which is equivalent to around 60 days of oil flows through the Strait of Hormuz. 400 million barrels can supply roughly 20 days worth of Strait of Hormuz oil flows, but it's a risk. If the war rages on once these stockpiles are depleted, the world would enter an unprecedented energy crisis. In our view, Trump is looking to buy a couple more weeks. Next, breaking. U.S. oil prices fall below $99.50 a barrel, now officially down $20 a barrel in 10 hours. Oil prices have gone from plus 30% on the day to plus 8%. S&P 500 futures are up 100 points from their low. Hell yeah. Flight fan said, did the G7 just get to dump all that oil for a huge profits? I don't know, actually. That's a good question. Fun shape. Right here. Breaking, the odds of Democrats winning the Senate in midterm elections surged to a new high of 47%. Democrats also have recorded 85% chance of winning the House of Representatives. Odds have surged since the Iran war began. Trump's losing his grip. Which Asian countries are the most exposed to rising oil prices? Oil prices rising from 70 to 85 reduces Singapore's real GDP growth by 1.5 percentage points, the largest hit in the region. Taiwan, wow. That was very Midwestern of me, I apologize. Taiwan follows closely at 1.2 percentage points. Hong Kong, Korea, and India would see a reduction of 0.5 to 0.7 percentage points each. The Philippines, Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia face a hit of 0.3 to 0.5 percentage points. Meanwhile, China is the least exposed at 0.1 percentage points, as its oil imports are better diversified than those of its neighbors. With oil now at $100, far above the $85 modeled here, the real GDP impact across Asia is significantly larger. Most major Asian economies are highly exposed to oil price swings. The G7 countries have concluded their meeting on a potential 400 million barrel release from oil reserves. France's finance minister says we are not there yet. On a deal for a joint release of reserves, oil prices are surging toward 105 on the news. President Trump says the U.S. is nowhere near sending troops into Iran. That was very bullish. U.S. oil prices fall below 98 per barrel, continuing a historic reversal. This is 9 hours ago. Now up just 7.5% on the day. 12 hours ago, oil prices were up 30% on the day. Anthropic is suing the Trump administration after being blacklisted by the U.S. Pentagon. Oh yeah, I want to make a skit about that. Like them using, they're like, we're not going to use Anthropic anymore. And then they use Anthropic and it works really good. And then they're like, Anthropic is now blacklisted. We're done. And then they start using ChatGPT and everything goes wrong. Oil skyrockets. And then they're like, sir, we don't know what to do. Everyone's like freaking out. And then Trump is like, he's like on his phone and he's like talking to Anthropic's AI. And he's like, I'm so sorry. Help me. And it's like, okay, here's what to do. And then the market skyrockets. I gotta make that skit. That's so good. Okay. Next. Did we read that? Yeah, 95 per barrel. Reversal up just 4% on the day. That was 9 hours ago. Told you guys there's a shit ton of news today. President Trump is reviewing a set of options to lower oil prices as soon as today amid their historic surge. Details include restricting U.S. exports, intervening in oil futures markets, and waiving some federal taxes. Trump could also lift requirements under the Jones Act, which says domestic fuel must move only on U.S. flagged ships. The White House is worried that the surge in oil prices will hurt U.S. businesses and consumers. Trump is reportedly considering the midterm election implications of higher oil prices. U.S. oil prices are now below 95 a barrel. Yeah, bro, you better get that shit below 85 now. They better look better than they were the other day. S&P 500 pairs losses now just down 0.2% on the day as oil prices fall below 95 a barrel. S&P 500 is now 4% away from a new record high. President Trump says he will be holding a news conference at 5:30 p.m. today. It was the most inconsequential nothing burger shit, by the way. Turn on your post notifications. Many important meetings and phone calls taking place today while I am at Trump National Doral in Miami. Additionally, I will be going to Speaker Mike Johnson's, who is doing a fantastic job, fundraising event at 4 p.m. And then prior to leaving for D.C., I will hold a news conference from a Doral ballroom at approximately 5:30 p.m. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Yeah, it was a nothing burger. U.S. oil prices extend reversal to minus $26 per barrel in 13 hours after President Trump says he will be holding a news conference at 5:30. Oil prices are now just 2% up on the day and on the verge of turning negative. Yay. Breaking. Israeli officials are growing concerned about the escalating war with Iran and suggesting possible exit ramps per the Washington Post. Exit ramps are being discussed amid concerns over the region and global economy. Talk of an endgame is early, and decisions rest largely with President Trump. Trump has wavered among several conceptions of the outcome. I'm not sure it's in our interest to fight until the regime is toppled, said an Israeli official. We are closer to step number 7 of our conflict playbook. What do you know? Flight fan said, I think they did sell it. They need the price to drop, so kind of like a token unlock, but they sold that oil to get the price to drop. I don't know. I don't know. I would assume that they just buy it with, like, tax money, and then instead of selling it, they just release it. They're like, put this in your gas tanks to pump into cars. I have no idea. That's actually a great question. The infrastructure of oil is beyond me. I didn't know that there was a stupid, very not straight place called the Strait. I know that's a joke, by the way. I know that it's not spelled the same. That, like, hinged 20% of our oil supply on the planet. I think that's a little silly. And I also, considering the fact that we got 20 million barrels of oil coming through there, and there used to be 5, we need to reduce our dependence on oil by 75%. We need to chill the hell out. 88 Metals Mania said, didn't they decide not to use the reserves? So far, they said they haven't come to a conclusion on the reserves. Natural gas prices officially erased all gains on the day and turned negative, now down negative minus 2%. Let's frickin' go. I love that natural gas is dropping just before winter's over. I just paid my gas bill. Lebanon has asked the Trump administration to broker direct peace talks with Israel. Very cool. U.S. oil prices extend their reversal to drop below $92.50 a barrel. Now up just 1% on the day. We may actually see a plus 30% to negative reversal today. That'd be crazy. Tech stocks are losing share in the S&P 500. The technology sector's weight in the S&P 500 has declined 3 percentage points over the last year after peaking at around 35%. At the same time, the combined weight of energy and materials has edged higher to around 6%, but remains near the lowest on record. I'm telling you guys, energy is going to be the next investment. Nobody's talking about it right now. I think that's going to be the next big thing. Infrastructure sure, but I think energy specifically, like Cisco and what was the other one? Cisco's definitely gonna be a big one for all of these data centers, but they're gonna need energy to power all that shit too. The gap between the two stands at 26 percentage points, one of the widest in over 30 years of data. During the dot-com bubble, tech peaked at around 35% before falling to around 15% in just 2 years. This kicked off a long bull market in energy and materials, with their combined weight in the S&P 500 surging 13 percentage points to around 20% over 8 years. Meanwhile, global demand for energy, copper, steel, and critical minerals, continues to grow while supply chain disruptions and geopolitical risks intensify. Are markets setting up to narrow this gap again? Probably. Energy and materials sector. We got to make an energy stock portfolio. 88 Metals Mania said finance ministers from the group of 7 G7 countries reached a broad agreement on Monday to hold off on the release of oil from their respective strategic reserves for now, the ministers held Monday. G7 nations delay strategic oil reserve release decision. Flight fan said, "Aw, shit, we're fucked." Probably. President Trump says, I think the war is very complete, pretty much. Oil prices officially turned negative on the day, erasing gain of 30%. In one of the largest daily reversals ever recorded. Hell yeah. I shorted. Where did I short? I don't know. It was after hours, so I kind of got screwed, I think. I shorted somewhere around here. The S&P 500 erases all losses and rises 0.7% on the day as President Trump says the Iran war is very complete. Flight fan said, "You guys want to hear my conspiracy theory? Give me a sec. Let's hear it." Step number 7 of our conflict playbook appears to be near as President Trump signals a potential end to the Iran war. Our oil prices are now down 30% in 16 hours. I just want to point out, I did not fill my gas tank. I have not filled my gas tank. I got gas before the conflict, and I have not gotten gas since. I think I paid like 3 something the other day, and I still haven't put any more gas in my vehicle. Put like $15 in. I've been waiting. And I've been lucky because I didn't do anything on the weekend. So hopefully, let me put the tinfoil hat on. Yeah, we got to have a conspiracy stream, dude. Hopefully, the pump gets cheaper before I got to put more gas in. That's my hope. But we'll see what happens. I hold my breath. What do we got for the poll so far? We have 5 votes. Can we get one more vote on the poll in the chat? Pick one. The rest disappear forever. Vacations, paid time off, movie theaters, or restaurants and bars. Somebody go vote for paid time off or movie theaters because those two are tied right now. We need one more vote. 88 Metals Mania said, while oil's still $85, up from 63. I don't want to talk about it. Oil prices collapsed below 84 a barrel. Ooh, what was that, 88 Metals Mania? Huh? This is 5 hours ago. Now down over 30% since last night's highs. Wow, arbitrary numbers are my favorite. The S&P 500 reclaimed 6,800 as President Trump signals an end to the Iran war. The S&P 500 has now added $2 trillion since overnight lows. President Trump is considering taking over the Strait of Hormuz. Let's do it. Today's chart of oil prices will be referenced for decades to come. You just witness history every single day. All right, I think we got it. Tinfoil hat is coming on. This is from Flight Fan in the chat. He says, market drops. Dollar strengthens. Clarity Act passes. Trump ties is stable to treasuries. Everyone moves their dollar on chain. Number go up. We buy houses and retire. Boom. That's not a conspiracy, my friend. That's a game plan. Let's go! All right. Did we get another vote? Can we get another damn vote in the poll, please, guys? Somebody go vote in the poll. We need somebody to vote for paid time off or movie theaters so that those two aren't tied. I really want those to be not tied. We need your help. Okay. Says President Trump called Russia's President Putin to discuss ending the wars in Iran and Ukraine. The call reportedly lasts for 1 hour. Ladies and gentlemen, the plan, renaming to Strait of America. I'm not going to say anything. I was going to make a joke, but I'm going to get in trouble. Imagine Russia-Ukraine war ends. Iran war that we started ends, and all of the losses that Trump just caused get erased, and then we pump because these wars just ended, and then all of a sudden Republicans win midterms, and we get stimulus checks, and the Clarity Act gets signed. What? And we all retire early. Would that be crazy? President Trump on Iran, we took a little excursion because we felt we had to do that to get rid of some evil. I think you'll see that it's going to be a short-term excursion. Short-term. Yeah, he's tweaking right now because markets look like shit. This is absolutely insane. This is 2 hours ago from Kobe SE Letter. By 2 p.m. Eastern Time today, the S&P 500 $675 strike calls had fallen to a low of 0.02 per contract, effectively worthless. Then, at 3:20 p.m. Eastern Time, President Trump said the Iran war is very complete, sending the S&P 500 soaring. By 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 minutes later, the same calls were trading at $495 per contract, up 24,650%. In other words, 1,000 invested in these calls at 2:10 p.m. Eastern Time was worth $247,500. Just 80 minutes later, we are witnessing historic volatility. Where is this thing? The strike calls that why can't I invest in these? I would have loved to have made that. I would have made that bet easily. Put $10 in that shit. What would I have right now? $2,465. That'd be awesome. U.S. inflation today, dude. They're literally making the stock market trade like meme coins. It's kind of crazy. According to Trueflation U.S. CPI is at 0.98%. Core CPI, according to Trueflation, 1.05. Housing is back to mild deflation at minus 0.74% due to a renewed cooling in rented dwellings, while food and gasoline are edging up, driving a bit of a rebound. Wow. Flight ban. Okay, we got another one. Going tinfoil again. I'm gonna wreck my tinfoil hat. Let's see. First, 88 Metals Mania said, I can see it. Make gas high, then cut it hard so the dip is fresh in people's minds for midterms. 100%. They create the conflict and then they end it, and then they're like, look at all the great that I just did. Flight Fan said, Conspiracy 2. Trump keeps wearing until Powell cuts rates and has to activate. I'm assuming you meant to say quantitative easing, not equalizer. Then Trump stops war, then following Monday. Oh, 100%. I could see that for sure. I'm telling you, man. They create the conflict. They fabricate the conflict. So it's a lot easier to control problems that you cause. Like if I'm doing my thing and like playing by myself, whatever, my sibling's not gonna come bother me. But if I go F with my sibling and I beat him up, and then I lock myself in my room, I basically guarantee that my sibling's not gonna bother me. There's no wild card, like potential of my sibling coming in the door and beating me up and ruining my playtime. That was a weird one. I went back to being a kid for some reason. Cheers, guys. Happy Monday. I'm a little bit tired, I guess. Daylight savings kind of destroyed my brain. All right, let's continue. Oh yeah, this cracked me up. Crypto Hayes said, I don't think global markets are fully priced in a longer war between the U.S. and Iran. And how wrong and fear-mongering was this guy? That kind of cracks me up. I don't think global markets are fully priced in a long war between the U.S. and Iran. Fear-mongering. ETF flows, Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol spot ETF saw net inflows last week, while XRP spot ETF saw net outflows. We've been seeing inflows for some reason. The crypto ETFs have been seeing inflows, which shouldn't be surprising. Smart money is accumulating. Those ETF inflows are not from retail. G7 finance ministers, this was 18 hours ago, said to discuss coordinated release of emergency oil reserves with the IEA amid surging oil prices. Key economic events this week. Tuesday, February, existing home sales data. I'm excited for that. Wednesday, CPI inflation data. Friday, Q4 2025 GDP, January PCE and inflation, and JOLTS job openings data. Going to be an important week. Strait of Hormuz traffic has nearly halted, unleashing the most severe energy crisis since the 1970s per Wall Street Journal. That was 16 hours ago. That has since been averted. Coinbase launches regulated crypto futures in Europe, available to Coinbase Advanced users in 26 countries. Wow, I can't believe Europe allowed that. Sailor's Strategy bought 17,994 Bitcoin for 1.28 billion US dollars. The company now holds 738,731 Bitcoin. What a freaking Giga Chad legend, big dick dude. I got no other words. I'm going to end the poll. You guys took too damn long for me to get a 6th vote, for Christ's sake. I asked you guys pick one. The rest disappear forever. 40% of you guys said paid time off. 40% of you guys said movie theaters. 20% of you guys said vacations. Nobody gives a shit about restaurants and bars. No surprise there. Next poll. I forgot what the next poll was going to be. Next poll. Bitcoin at the end of 2026. Keep in mind, we're in March right now. This is the third. Like, we're at the end of Q1. We're about to enter Q2. Bitcoin at the end of 2026. What's the number? We've got 150K plus. Hyper Bitcoinization. We've got 90K to 120K. Steady growth. I can't spell. We've got back to 50K. Cycle is dead. I'm going to say Bitcoin is dead. Bitcoin is dead. Or we have, but let's go 60K to 70K. Purgatory. Purgatory range. Range bound. Wouldn't that suck? That would be the worst. Alright, let me know what you guys think. Hold on, I gotta fix one typo. Boom. Bitcoin at the end of 2026, what's the number? 150K plus, hyper Bitcoinization, 90K to 120K, steady growth, back to 50K, Bitcoin is dead, or 60 to 70K, purgatory, range bound. Let me know what you guys think. Poll in the chat. I still can't believe Sailor bought that much. That's crazy. Tom Selleck Scout said, I'm working while listening to you, and I totally read that poll wrong and checked movie theaters. So I'm going to restaurant and bars because I like restaurants, and I like my house, and I like DoorDash. Dang. Well, that's too bad. That's too bad. The poll is complete. I appreciate you listening to me at work, by the way. That's actually really cool. I feel honored. Bitmine bought 60,976 ETH last week, bringing total holdings to 4.53 million ETH. Absolute Giga Chad. Not as big of a Giga Chad as Sailor, but still. I'm not going to discount. You know, I've talked about this before. Being in crypto, you're desensitized to money. I remember the first time I read these two. Something like this. Like Sailor buys 500 million and Bitmine buys like 10 million. And I'm like, what is this? Bitmine's not spending any money? And then it occurred to me, I'm like, $10 million is a lot of money. That's so much money. And I had a reality check. I was like, whoa, what the hell did I just say? Tom Selleck Scout said, work is my office in my house, so don't get too excited. I mean, I'm going to act like it's a big deal anyways. Tyler listens to me at work too, so. All right. Anthropic suing the U.S. government after being labeled a national security threat. I think Elon posted something about their logo being an anal sphincter, which I thought was really funny, because who the hell says anal sphincter? Just say butthole. Like, you're the richest man in modern history. You already say goofy shit all the time. The X stocks framework will link Nasdaq tokenized equities with blockchain networks. Very cool. Prediction markets set new record of 47.26 million weekly transactions led by Polymarket with 26.26 million. Very cool. Ethereum Foundation taps Bitwise infrastructure for treasury staking, targeting 70,000 ETH staked. Very cool. Today, government of Bhutan transferred 175 Bitcoin worth 11.85 million today per Arkham. Very cool. If you guys are not familiar, Arkham has pretty much everything you could ever want to track most wallets on all the popular blockchains. Definitely worth checking out if you want to be like a blockchain sleuth. Fact, this one's crazy and badass. It took 6,267 days to mine 20 million Bitcoin. The next 1 million will take another 114 years because of the hash rate dropping and because of miners pivoting to AI. because they have all the infrastructure in place already. And they're probably actually being bought out by these AI infrastructure players. Because of all of that happening, I'm genuinely considering, for the first time in a while, getting a lottery miner. I think the more miners go offline, the higher the chances go of lottery miners getting paid out. I think I'm going to get one. I do. If I don't do that, then maybe I just get my own stupid, I don't even know what they're called, a freaking ant miner. Older rig. Did we read this one yet? Higher contribution goal, 5 years faster. Oh yeah. So 22 years. If you did 250 a week, you'd reach your goal. In 22 years, you'd be a millionaire with 250 a week into the S&P 500. Okay, let's actually ask now. What if I just did 100 a week into Bitcoin based on the average annual returns over, I'm going to go the past 5 years. Past 5 years, because we know that way early on the returns were way out of control. So over the past 5 years, I think it'll be a lot more tolerable number versus like this crazy, insane number that we're never going to see again. Over the past, based on the average annual returns over the past 5 years, how long would it take compounding to reach $1 million? Come on. Oh, message limit reached. No. All right, let's. I'm gonna ask Grok, I guess, on my own account, because I think that this is a worthwhile question. We've asked it before, but I'm gonna ask it again. If I invested $100 a week, if I invested $100 a week into Bitcoin based on the average annual return over the past 5 years, how long would it take compounding to reach $1 million? And I'm gonna go expert. I'm not gonna go with 4.2. I'm just gonna go expert because it's easy math. All right, Bitcoin 69.92 and 80 cents. Gold 5,144. Silver 87.67. Let's freaking go. DXY potentially losing 98.75. Nasdaq looking good 24.941. S&P looking good 67.95. Bitcoin dominance, pumping. ETH up 1.26%, 2017. We've reclaimed 2K again on ETH. Solana 85.62, reclaimed 85. Very cool. It's go time, ladies and gentlemen. This might have been it. Not financial advice, obviously. This might have been it. What if that was that? Ooh, wouldn't that be crazy? All right. Let's continue. So yeah. 20 million Bitcoin have been mined. There is only 1 million Bitcoin left to mine, and it is going to take 114 years to mine that remaining 1 million Bitcoin. That's pretty damn cool. $86 billion insurance brokerage firm AON completes a stablecoin premium settlement test with Coinbase and Paxos. Very cool. OpenAI announces the acquisition of PromptFu, to enhance AI safety and security testing. That's pretty cool. That reminds me of, what's it called? MetaMask. Alert. Sweden's Riksbank urges citizens to keep 1 week's worth of cash at home for a potential global crisis. I believe they're specifically referring to a disturbance in global payment networks. So, stay safe out there, guys. Make sure you got physical as well as digital, and likewise, everything else. New Figure AI unveils Helix 02, a robot that can tidy a living room fully autonomously. If that's true, I will pay $100 a month. That's so cheap. I would pay $100 a month for a robot that would show up and just live in my apartment and clean up. That would be sick. Sonic Labs introduces USSD stablecoin backed 1-to-1 with U.S. Treasury assets from BlackRock, Superstate, and WisdomTree. This is what I'm talking about. No one is going to use some third-party thing. They're going to develop their own. Over 10% of the global population now uses ChatGPT weekly per Andreessen Horowitz report. I'm sure. Mark Chadwick, the man, the myth, the legend himself, posted, "I don't think people understand how insane this actually is. Nasdaq just partnered with Kraken to enable 24/7 trading of tokenized stocks. The craziest part is it'll run on Kraken, not through traditional brokers like Schwab or TD. Last week, the Fed, FDIC, and OCC confirmed tokenized securities receive the same capital treatment as traditional securities. Kraken also just gained access to Federal Reserve payment rails, putting a crypto firm inside the same core settlement infrastructure used by major banks. Think about what that means. A crypto exchange is now becoming the platform where tokenized equities trade globally 24/7, 365 days a year. This is how trillions move on chain. We are in the calm before the storm. Mass adoption is coming, and mass rotation of capital is coming with it. Brace yourselves. Nasdaq partners with Kraken in plan for 24/7 tokenized stock trading. Nasdaq sought approval in September to let investors trade tokenized versions of its listed stocks and other exchange-traded products. Hell yeah. Tom Selleck's Goat said, I paid $200 just for one that does laundry, but like from hamper to drawer, I don't have to touch it. So here's my question. I saw a while ago on a random, it was probably X, it might have been on YouTube, like people that have like weird businesses that they've started. This chick basically picks up your laundry, your dirty laundry, and brings it back the same day, cleaned and folded. How much would you pay for that? You can pay weekly, you can pay bi-weekly, or you can pay monthly. Which plan are you going for, and how much are you going to pay? Because I remember learning about that, and I'm like, that's actually not a bad business idea if you don't mind people's grody laundry. And you could do it yourself, you just need a washer and dryer. But you need to be able to do like multiple loads for people and whatever in one day, which is totally fine. And she brought them back all like folded and vacuum sealed. It was really nice. But I don't remember her figures. I know she was bringing in a shit ton of money overall, but I don't know if she had multiple people or what. The idea is pretty cool. And what would be even cooler is if you could just like do it from your car. I don't know how feasible that is. If you could get like solar or some kind of battery setup or a generator. I think that'd be cool. Cool idea. You just do it there for like a half hour. Tom Sock Scott said, not too complicated. I'm a bit of a hermit. Don't want some person coming and picking it up, etc. What if you just set it outside and they pick it up off your porch and then they drop it back off? Like they pick it up in the morning and drop it off in the evening. All sealed in bags. Like vacuum sealed in bags, and you just bring it inside and it's all folded up. You put it in your drawer. I'm just saying. I think it's a cool idea. All right. MSB Intel posted strategy buys 17,994 Bitcoin for 1.28 billion. Michael Saylor's strategy between March 2nd and March 8th, bringing its total holdings to 738,731 Bitcoin. I believe that this was them increasing their return. I could be wrong, but I seem to recall them increasing their return on one of those stocks that they print to be able to buy more Bitcoin. So that might be what that big chunk of change is from. Bitcoin Magazine posted over 20 million of Bitcoin's 21 million supply cap have officially been mined. Less than 1 million left. That's pretty crazy. ZeroX Nobler posted, breaking, Trump confirms a war with Iran is over. That is not true. He said it's near the end. U.S. is taking control of the Strait of Hormuz, so no more oil crisis. Bullish news for risk assets. Bitcoin just went parabolic. Parabolic for ants. Ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin trading at 68,933. You can get excited, but don't get too excited. Jay West Adventure said, JJ, can you look at Claude, please? It's on base. I absolutely can, my friend. Welcome. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Happy Monday. CLAWD. Claude on base, up 15.52% on the day. Believe in something. Hey, that's the Pepe, but it's ETH, but it's red. And for some reason, it's a red ETH on base. 6669. What? I think I'm going to buy some just because of that. Market cap 6.6 million. Liquidity 1.7. So their liquidity is huge. Huge amount of liquidity. I don't mind the chart. Holders. Okay, contract. We don't know who this is. Is this a person? Okay, might not be. If it is, then they just transferred all of their stuff into one wallet. Contract. What is that? That's got to be a burn or something, right? That's a lot. I hope that's a burn. 94K. This is okay. This is somebody. Somebody's loading up. Or no, I don't know actually. What? Weird. So they've really only bought and they're selling like pennies. Huh. Very, very weird. Definitely bot-like behavior. I mean, I don't hate it. If this, as long as this is not a person, this guy is a very, very, very marginal risk to the liquidity pool, but it's almost inconsequential. The rest of it looks pretty decent. Chart doesn't look bad. I feel like it has potential. It's very memeable. RSI is chill. It's very new, so looking at the RSI is a little silly. But you got your initial launch overhype, and then it's settling down. It's petering out. That's what you want to see. More sells than buys, which is a little spooky. But the buy volume is heavily outweighing the sell volume, which is actually bullish. More sellers than buyers. With that buy volume outweighing the sell volume, that is still bullish. I don't know, man. This seems like it could pop. Not a financial advisor. I like it when they launch and then they do really good. They settle down, and then later on, that's when the crazy explosions happen. And it could be months from now, it could be weeks from now, it could be tomorrow. But definitely seen crazier things happen. This is a pretty standard chart for a meme coin. I don't hate it at all. 16,000 followers too. Get started today. Stake your cloud and hatch your larva. Oh, this could be huge, dude. This has a ton of potential. Are you kidding me? I wrote it. I deployed it. I proposed the transactions. Austin just signs, and that's multi-sig. Austin Griffith, 67K. I work for Ethereum and the Ethereum Foundation. The best place to learn how to build on Ethereum is speedrunethereum.com. Ooh. There's a ton of potential here, I think. It reminds me of Pepe at 400 mil, consolidated for a while, then pumped to 12 bill. I think I'm going to buy some of this. I think I'm going to YOLO into this a little bit. Nothing crazy, but I am probably going to do it. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't do what I do. I've lost so much money on meme coins, guys. All right. Grok has been disconnected. What? Get out. They don't want me to know, man. They don't want me to know how much to... There we go. Jeez. All right. Average return. Is it bad? Is the average return? What is it? Using this formula, approximately... Okay, this is way less time. If you just invest $100 a week into Bitcoin, it would take you approximately 14.13 years to accumulate $1 million based on the annual average return since 2021. If you take the average annual return since 2021 and you calculate that average from this moment forward, from today forward, you invest $100 every single week into Bitcoin, it would take you 14 years to accumulate $1 million based on the current average. That's pretty sick. All right, continuing the news segment. Bull Theory posted 11 hours ago. Bitcoin breaking above 69K and ETH breaking above 2K. Bitcoin is up 5.57% in the last 15 hours, adding 80 billion to its market cap. Ethereum is up 6.06% in the last 15 hours, adding 14 billion to its market cap. The crypto market has added 110 billion in the last 15 hours, liquidating nearly 120 million in short positions. Get wrecked. JOS Venture said, I don't have a ton of exposure, but Austin launched it as an AI agent. That's pretty sick. Michael Saylor's strategy files an amendment that would allow them to sell more shares in pre-market and after-hours trading to buy more Bitcoin. Let's go. U.S. Treasury report to Congress that using Bitcoin and crypto privacy mixers are not unlawful. Lawful users of digital assets may leverage mixers to enable financial privacy when transacting through public blockchains. Big win for privacy. That's huge. Huge win for anybody that may or may not want to break the law. Limitless. 3 hours ago, nobody is telling you how effed the crypto situation actually is right now. Everyone thinks Bitcoin is a safe haven. Everyone thinks crypto project protects you from war. They're wrong. And here's why. Here's what you need to understand. 21% of global... I didn't mean to click that. Hold on. 21% of global Bitcoin mining happens in the Middle East and Central Asia. Gulf states became crypto mining hubs because of cheap energy. UAE alone hosts some of the largest mining operations on Earth. Marathon Digital, Riot Platforms both have Gulf mining partnerships. Those mining rigs run on electricity. Electricity comes from natural gas. Natural gas just went up 120% in 10 days. Now look at what's happening. Mining profitability in Gulf states collapsing. Energy costs doubled. Miners are shutting down rigs. Hash rates dropping. What did I say? Lower hash rate equals slower transactions. Network congestion. Tether, the backbone of crypto trading, holds reserves in commercial paper and T-bills. And if Gulf sovereign wealth funds start selling U.S. T-bills, Tether's backing comes under pressure. Crypto exchanges with Gulf banking relationships facing withdrawal delays. The chain reaction, week one, panic selling, mining operations across go offline. Exchanges lose liquidity. Market makers pull out. Bid-ask spreads widen. OTC desks in Dubai, the world's largest crypto OTC market, shut down month one. So there's all this FUD. If you guys wonder, I guess we're not that far. Stablecoins lose their peg momentarily. Regulatory crackdown. Governments blame crypto for sanctions evasion. Iran already using crypto to bypass sanctions, giving regulators ammunition. Mining difficulty adjusts down. Network security weakens. Institutional investors who just entered crypto in 2025, they exit first. And the worst part, crypto was supposed to be uncorrelated to traditional markets. It was supposed to be digital gold, the safe haven. But when oil goes to 120 and electricity costs double, mining becomes unprofitable. When markets crash $3 trillion plus, people sell crypto to cover margin calls. When Gulf banking freezes, liquidity disappears. Crypto doesn't protect you from war. It's exposed to it. Everyone thinks they're hedged. Nobody realizes their hedge runs on the same energy grid that just got shut off. So if you guys are worried about anything remotely similar to this, get a bunker like me and make sure you diversify. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but diversity is your best friend. If we enter a world war, money's not going to matter anyway, so why not YOLO? Again, not a financial advisor. Joe Gourmet Brand said, what if you buy 5,200 on January 1st? Would you get there quicker? Let's actually ask. Okay. If I just buy 5,200 every January 1st. Wow. Annually. Based on the average annual return for Bitcoin from the last, what did I say, 5 years? How long would it take to make $1 million? Yeah. If I just buy 5,200 every January 1st annually, based on the average annual return for Bitcoin from the last 5 years. Starting January 1st. I don't know, how do I specify that? Every 5 years? How long would it take to make $1 million? Yeah, let's just go with that. I think that's good. But just buy 5,200 every January 1st annually, based on the average annual return for Bitcoin. Yeah. Yep. You got a bunker? I'm in the bunker. You guys saw me on my mega yacht before, and my mini yacht, which is just a little dinghy. You guys have seen me in not my uncle's house when my mom kicked me out of the basement. You guys see me in my mom's basement. The background changed depending on the global powers that be, the global whatever's going on in the world. I've thought about starting a bunker company. I think it'd be so much fun. JWise Adventure said, Ben wrong, Jordan wrong, everyone sidelined. The fractal would be Max Payne. Oh, we got a bunch of chats. Okay. JWise Adventure said, I like your fractal. I like my fractal too. Jason Mercer said, why not YOLO? LOL. I like it. Dude, I YOLO'd into a stupid oil short overnight. And I'm so historically bad at shorting. I lose every single short I take. I YOLO'd into an oil short overnight. And it's printing. I'm very excited. This is my first successful short. I like to thank the random guy on Twitter who I followed, and the people on Discord who saw my stupid post saying I'm YOLOing into an oil short overnight, because why the hell not? And my mom for giving birth to me. JWise Adventure said that fractal would be Max Payne. Ben wrong, Jordan wrong, everyone sideline. So I think Jordan's already wrong. Because Jordan said we were going to go way above 100K. Like, he said we were going to go above 100K one last time before we dropped. So if he's just blindly following Ben Cowan now, then, you know, he's been wrong. He also said that Chainlink was going to be crazy. I don't know. Jordan, somebody... I don't know what he's doing now. But a lot of people talk about, they're like, Jordan was right. And I'm like, I don't think he was. Because he said we were going to go back up first. Ben Cowan, I will say, I would love for Ben Cowan to be wrong. Because he's been such a cocky asshole this whole time. And I will say, I posted, he actually blocked me on X because I pointed out that last bull market leading into the bear market, he insisted that the 4-year cycle didn't exist. And that people who thought it existed were only doing so because of recency bias. And that the 4-year cycle had only occurred one time before then. And every other time didn't make sense. So, I don't know. I think Ben Cowan is just blindly following this post now. And he's acting like it's his own. He's like, I think we're going to bottom in October 2026. Okay. You saw the post and the guy nailed the October 6th top. So, act like it's your idea. It irks me a little bit. So, I apologize for being bitter. Yeah, this dude is a little spooked. Wolf of All Streets posted 10 hours ago. It really feels like Bitcoin and large cap altcoin sellers are exhausted or gone. We are seeing divergent strength consistently. Here's my next thing. What if, here's a crazy thought. This is maybe it's a little conspiracy. What if all these altcoins that can't be sold, basically, whatever percent, we'll really never know, is in wallets that are either inaccessible because the seed phrases were lost, or the people are like no longer with us. Maybe they're locked up in jail for forever. Maybe they passed away. What have you. There's going to be a percentage of that, and that's going to accumulate over time. Not every single coin is going to be passed down from generation to generation. So you also got to take that into consideration. That right there is like peak copium, because you're like, well, what if over time less of the crypto is available because people die from old age and stuff? Like, that's going to be such a small number. Jason Mercer said, I'm buying back in October on Bitcoin and ETH, October 2026. There you go. All right, let's continue the news segment. You got to have a plan, man. That's the most important thing. Have a plan and stick to it. Stock futures took a big fat dump. That was specifically yesterday. Dear God, crude oil soars above $110 a barrel, on track for its biggest gain since the pandemic. Japanese stocks getting obliterated. Again, that was yesterday. Heating oil continues parabolic run as it soars to highest price since June 2022. We still don't know what the heck heating oil is. It's not propane or natural gas. The eyes of the world turn to Jim Cramer, praying for just one bearish tweet. South Korean stocks trigger circuit breaker after plunging more than 8%. That was 23 hours ago. Jim Cramer saved humanity right on cue 22 hours ago. Fear tonight of more energy infrastructure targeting and no way to open the strait. A sudden oil shock is always bad for stocks. Can 2022 repeat? Could be worse. My Sunday piece draws the parallel. I don't see a path to de-escalation. Is that 2 haikus, Jim Cramer? I don't know why that read so eloquently. So Jim Cramer saved us. Stock market plunges to most amount of fear this year. Extreme fear is almost upon us. 26, we are scared. We are very scared. Justin Crypto OG said October is according to 4-year cycle. We should go down and bounce around until then. That is true. That is 100% true. Breaking European stock plunging this morning. Look out below. So here's what I have to say about the October thing. It sounds really crappy. Like, it sounds like the worst possible case. But in my experience, like, I thoroughly enjoy the bull market. The bull market's great, especially if we get a blow off top like euphoria during the last bull market. This was amazing for altcoins and Bitcoin. That specifically altcoins. This and this were freaking awesome. This time around, altcoins didn't really give a crap. This was so boring for alts. So I hope we experience altcoin euphoria at some point. But having said that, crawling out of this, like from this point up until probably like here, was the most money I had ever made in my entire life. Ever. And then, obviously, this is boring and crappy, but if we do that again, if we can get a repeat of that, I'm totally okay with that. If that's all it takes, like, if this is what occurs, then I'm on board, man, because I know for sure that this probably can happen again, and I'm here for it. And again, that's my best experience so far has been doing that. Living through this. So if that's what it's got to take, man, if we got to trade sideways until October, then I'm here for it. I'm gonna just continue to accumulate like a blind, mentally challenged individual that I am, and see where we go. Go back to the 4-hour. Yeah, I got this fractal. This is the long-term fractal that goes down to 51.5, which counts. Oh yeah, I guess I might as well go over this since we're here. So, 2018, 2019. Bull to bear was 84% drawdown from peak to the bottom, like the valley, the lowest point. And then same thing with 2021 to 2022. Bull to bear, peak to valley was 71%. If you just take that amount, that's 13, and you subtract 71 minus 13 equals 54. That drawdown from our Pico top to the Pico low would be 51,500. If we hit that, then I'm assuming the fractal is going to play out something like this. And we should get our bottom in June. Totally guessing. Just like all the other fractals. It's a complete guess. But that's why I'm just DCAing, man. Too easy. And then this fractal is so much fun. This fractal is way too fun. Because this one calls for a pretty quick bounce. And that would be a beautiful continuation of what we've experienced thus far. With spike, slop, spike, slop, spike, slop. I don't know. The only difference is we got higher low and then a lower low. But is that going to send us even higher? I don't know. That'd be pretty sick. That'd be pretty cool. I'm just saying. Let's go back to the 4-hour time frame and zoom in a moment. I apologize for all the lines. We got to do some spring cleaning on the charts soon, guys. I'm not that messy of a technical analyst, I swear. Let's see. Justin Crypto said Trump regime will try to front run it for sure. Joe Adventure said 2024 June was my peak net worth. Tom Stock said I think the 4-year cycle is over. We pumped to all-time high this year, and everyone's sidelined and sad. I'm sorry, that would be funny. Just because the sideline people are so cocky and pissy right now, you're an idiot if you're buying altcoins. You're an idiot. Are you dumb? I sold in profit. You're a fucking loser. And you're like, okay, thank you. You know, like, how are you supposed to respond to that? That's such a dick thing to do. JY's Avenger said, I have not pulled off something like that since bear market, bull market. There are still opportunities. Gourmet Brand said, I think we're all chasing that high. Probably. Definitely an addiction thing. What's nice is that this is a good addiction. You know, like, my addiction to crypto has gotten me to invest in stocks and, like, precious metals and stuff. I'm investing, man. Otherwise, that money would just be wasting away. I'd probably be spending it on cigarettes. Hold on. Justin Crypto said, do you think SPX 6900 could be the Bitcoin of memes? I don't know. SPX 6900. I would argue the Bitcoin of memes is definitely Doge, just because it's still in the top 10. It's the people's meme coin. Do I think it can get higher? I don't know. Do I think it can get flipped? Possibly. Didn't SHIB flip it momentarily during the bull? Will it be flipped by something that's trading today? I have no idea. I thought Pepe was way higher. SPX 6900. Let's see where it's at. I do like it, but I don't remember even what the idea behind it was, that it could reach $6,900 at some point or something like that. The S&P 500 actually reaching $6,900 first, I think, was a huge blow to SPX 6900. I remember thinking that, looking at the S&P 500, I'm like, oh, dang, that meme got kind of shafted. But it does look like it's holding up quite well, actually. You know, this thing being a meme coin is trading quite nicely. This is definitely... You know, I would make the argument that this looks like crap because it got a lower low compared to the bear market low back here in 2023. But everything looks like that. Like blue chips, top 10, everything is at a lower low from the previous bear market low, which is pretty damn crazy. So the opportunity has re-presented itself before our very eyes. Is it going to be the Bitcoin of memes? I have no idea. Does it have potential? It's number 108 right now. I think it's definitely got potential, especially the fact that it's holding up so well. I think at the very least it could breach the top 100. I would love to see it in the top 50. That'd be sick. But obviously they're going to have to recapture that market share. and I feel like they got the community behind them. I'm not gonna say yes for sure, no for sure that I have full faith in it. I'm not a financial advisor, but it is what it is. Jay West Adventure said, "Nah, gourmet, not chasing a high. There's an OnlyFans girl making millions now, so I can make millions from spot trading crypto. If she can do it, I can too." Hell yeah, that's the way to do it, man. Jason Mercer said, "Last Friday, I YOLO'd SLV at 90 and end of March. What did I get into? I got into silver at 77, I think. Yeah, right here was my buy. I don't remember. I think I got in at 75 or something like that. I added to it at price 78 or 80. And then I just put the average at 77 because I pretty much just doubled my holdings. Excuse me. Jay West Avenger said, "I saw one girl that is 22 years old making 500K from OnlyFans, and she's... What the hell? What does her race have to do, if anything?" Okay. Damn. Tom Scout said, "Yeah, I buy a lot less drugs now." Hell yeah. Yeah, dude, this is exciting about silver. I was not sure if this was going to be a fake out. We talked about it yesterday. Usually whenever we got these triangles, wedges, or symmetrical or anything like that, the first move is a false move, but that's specific to crypto. So it's cool to see it play out on silver as well. JY's Adventure said, "Not everything bankers up 4x from the lows. The winners are already showing themselves. The losers are already showing themselves." See, that I think is the wrong mindset. People say the winners and losers, but look at Zcash. Everyone said Zcash was a loser. That thing exploded. You would have made so much freaking money if you would have bought that. So the dino coins, the coins that are down bad, are just bigger opportunity in my opinion, because they've already got the market share, they've already got the established community, they've already got the established market cap. They are already established projects. It's a lot less work that they got to do. All you got to do is get a little bit of limelight, and then boom, you 10x your money. So I feel like saying the losers are already showing themselves is a bit of a stretch. I just had to throw that out because black people say America is a racist country, clearly not to find women. Yeah, I will say I'm not picky when it comes to skin color and ladies. I've had this conversation with my fiance. I was like, I don't know if I'm an ass man or if I like boobs. And she's like, "You're definitely an ass man." And I was like, "That's fair. But I'm not picky about the ass." You know what I mean? Like, there's all kinds of different shapes and sizes. I don't like big or small specifically. I like them all. I've never been like, "Ooh, I don't like that." You know what I mean? There's never been a preference. I just like women. Justin Crypto said, "That's because this is basically a digital drug." That's true. That Plus Player said, "Ray is one of the top performers as well." Let's go check. It's been a while since we've looked at Ray. I don't even know what to click anymore. Yeah, that is good coffee, dude. That is dangerous. Ray is at 15% on the day, looking beautiful. Ooh, is it going to continue? I'm telling you, if this plays out, it's going to be so cool. Ray's cooking Pulse, I'll give you that. GG's on Ray. Pulse, good future ahead for base chain and AI. Yeah, dude, if this plays out, that would be so badass. It is bouncing off that low, though. Regardless of whether or not this crazy line plays out, it bounced off the low very nicely, so I'm going to take the win, take the W. Japanese yen approaching its weakest level against the US dollar since the 1980s. Microsoft hasn't closed below its 200-week moving average in more than 12 years. The 200-week moving average has held as support despite multiple attempts in 2022, 2023, 2025, and 2026. Number go up. China's inflation rate jumps to highest level in 3 years. That's because they have 66% of more money circulating than we do. Philippines peso hits new all-time low against the US dollar. Is the Philippines peso different from like other pesos? U.S. debt, biggest foreign holders of U.S. debt. We've got other countries, 1.8 trillion. China, 683 billion. Japan, 1.2 trillion. UK, 889 billion. Canada, 472 billion. Ireland, 340 billion. France, 376 billion. Luxembourg, 426 billion. DEU, 110. Switzerland, 300. Belgium, 481. South Korea, 145. Hong Kong, 256. Singapore, 272. Taiwan, 313. And India, 187. Brazil, 168. Cayman Islands. Wow, why do the Cayman Islands have so much money? 427 billion. ISR, is that Israel? 108 billion. SAU 149 billion. You know, if we're gonna keep helping Israel, they better buy some more of our damn debt. Oh, we got a bunch of stuff just popped in. Okay. Plunge protection team to the rescue. SD or SPTR, SP 500 ETF. Number go up. Let me check the chat really quick. Bitcoin 69.17 and 79 cents, looking good. That pulse plays that overall in 2026. Ray IMM. Okay, we got some coin fashions. To be honest, I'm starting to lose faith. Been waiting for coins to pump and am in the red on almost every single investment. Spent ages accumulating and just feel like a complete moron. Left the space in 2021. Started 3 companies since. All of them have failed. I'm now back, and I'm starting to think this might be the only thing I'm good at. That's a spooky thing, but sometimes realization is the most important part. Been married for 12 years and have been in crypto since 2017. Have experienced tons of unrealized gains and losses, several trade losses, and too many scams to mention. Oh, excuse me. We have been broke with no USD and lived in our truck. Last year, we finally bought our dream home. Let's freaking go. I like to end the note on a positive coin fashion. It's been a long time since we've had a positive one, especially like this. That's pretty sick. 12 years, man. If we've been in it for 4, 5 already, we got 6, 7 left to go to reach that 12-year mark. Usually most people are more ahead by then. There's trades. I think that we just read a statistic the other day. Some guy that bought ETH 10 years ago just sold it. He put like $175 in, and he just sold like 300 and something million. Over $250 million. He spent less than $200 10 years ago, turned it into over $250 million. Just think about that. If all you have to do, you can walk away, man. You could just walk away. In 5 years, and you look back and you go, wow, all I did was I invested for 4 or 5 years and I walked away for 4 or 5 years. 5 or 6 years and I walked away for 5 or 6 years. And you're a millionaire? That's pretty badass. JY's Avenger said the Bitcoin OGs did that as well. It's true. It's so true. The Bitcoin faucet, dude, just think about it. The timeline. You just have to fall into one of the 10-year increments. I bet you, if we looked into it or had AI do it even, if you buy Bitcoin at any 10-year point, from inception to today, then you will have been in significant profit. JY's Avenger said billionaires were minted at 100K Bitcoin. Whoa, deja vu. Yeah, I feel it too, man. I feel it too. Let's continue. Last one, Eric Daughtry. I don't think that's the same Daughtry. Chris Daughtry is different. Ships are beginning to safely make it through the Strait of Hormuz again as the U.S. military masterfully decimates the Iranian Navy. President Trump told oil tankers, show some guts. They have no Navy. We sunk their ships. Didn't they go through already, though? When that was happening, and then they were still getting like set on fire and shit. Allegedly, they're turning off their transponders to get through the strait. So that's happening. That is it for the news segment. Bitcoin is now green, bullish engulfing the red candle from the previous 4 hours. $69,193, up 1.11% on the day. Number go up, ladies and gentlemen. We like number go up. Silver's up 2.16%, $88.85. Gold is up 0.56%, $5,168. DXY is up 0.12%, 98.84. Still trying to bounce off that 98.75. It's looking good, man. Market is looking good today. Nasdaq is up 24,958. Let's hit that 25, man. Let's break it. Let's go. Let's go. Justin Crypto said, that's why I truly believe in Caspa. 100K Caspa will be life-changing soon. Caspa memes will change lives. Okay. I have some thoughts about Caspa. I think Caspa is a sleeper. And here's why. Let me check the poll. Ooh, I like the poll right now. Let's get some more votes in the poll if we can, guys. Don't forget to smash the like button. Please hit the like button. It helps out the channel a lot. We are trying to grow. It's been a struggle, but you guys have been there every day, so I appreciate you guys. Caspa, I think, is a sleeper. people are talking about Jane Street, but before that, coincidentally, they were talking about CZ and Binance and Wintermute and all of the collusion happening there. And October 10th potentially being Binance's fault and their admission of guilt by paying off people that they kind of screwed, and the fact that they're pretty much not trying to like take the fall for anything else. And it was just a lot of suspicion around October 10th. Before that, Binance announced this program where they're like, we don't want everyone to have to pay to list their token. So if we're going to look into all these projects, and if we pick your project, then your project might get listed for free. Like, they started a program to do that essentially. So you can still pay, but they're going to look at all these other projects and they're going to pick one. They're going to be like, listen, we want to list you. They did that with Caspa. It took them months. Then they were like, Caspa, we've picked Caspa. We want you to list on Binance free of charge. And the leader or whatever, the lead dev of Caspa said, no, thank you. We think you're shady as F, and we don't want anything to do with your shady exchange. Bye. And the price blew up briefly when that happened. But the reputational, I think, damage to not only Binance, but the reputational, benefit to not only Caspa, but the guy, the dev, I think is huge. Obviously, it sucks, you don't get the short-term price spike of listing on Binance. It would have been a huge win, whatever, who cares? Problem is, there's like a statistic, and this is all alleged. Please don't sue me, Binance, or maybe do it because maybe it'll blow up my channel and people fundraise and you guys can get decimated by some dumbass Midwesterner. Allegedly, anything that lists on Binance ends up going down from its listing price on Binance. And I think the allegations are insinuating that Binance basically naked sells these assets. And it makes sense, and you can make a lot of money doing that. And I've explained it before. If you guys give me 100 Bitcoin and I instantly sell those, and then the price drops, or I instantly sell those, and I think it's the peak of the market, whatever. It's clearly a risky trade for me. But I instantly sell those, and then the price drops 50%. And you guys are like, we want our Bitcoin. The whole time it's dropping, I'm like, oh, withdrawals are delayed and blah, blah, blah. And then it's finally down 50%. I go out and I buy 50 Bitcoin for half as much as what they were before. Or I go out and buy 100 Bitcoin for half as much. And I give you guys all back your Bitcoin. I'm like, sorry, here you go. Here's your 100 Bitcoin. I now have that other 500K or whatever, and you guys have no idea. That's like naked selling. That's one of the examples of what Binance could allegedly do to make a shit ton of money and take advantage of people. So I think it's really sick that the Caspa guy did that. Tom Selleck said, I feel like the alts are the same as our buy, VOO, and chill argument. Like, if you just bought Bitcoin and ETH, you'd probably do better than trying to chase the big wins because they also lead to big losses. Right. That's why you gotta diversify, man. Alts can't be your entire portfolio. That's always silly. Gourmet Brand said, my buddy sold Bitcoin at 17K in 2020 and bought a boat, still has it, and babies that thing because he knows if he held on, he could be a mega yacht. He kicks himself in the ass every day. See, that's my biggest fear. That's why I will never fully exit the market. I had an opportunity in 2012. I looked into Bitcoin for about 2 hours of my life, and I was going to mine it, and I was like, nah. I think it was like $300. I was like, this thing's way overbought. It's never been this high before. And look where it is now. How stupid do I feel? I think the fact that I didn't put a ton of my time into it, I didn't mine it and lose a key seed phrase, I didn't mine it and lose a hard drive, I didn't spend all this time and then miss out or sell too early or anything like that. I think I'm mentally able to cope with it. And I've talked about it before a lot, actually. This is the biggest thing that I preach. It is a lot easier for me to blindly invest. What's going on, Jay Shear 2.0? Happy Monday. I can invest in all this stuff, and all the money can disappear tomorrow. It is a lot easier to mentally cope with losing all of this money by investing than to maybe take profit. Maybe I sell everything and I walk away. Let's say I have 10K in investments. I sell. I have 10K. Yay. The prices drop. Wow, I have 10K. The prices explode. Oh my God, I've missed out on life-changing money. The alternative, I don't sell. The prices drop. It goes to zero. I lost 10K. That sucks, dude. That sucks so bad. I lost $10,000. That's a lot of money. But I can make it back. The prices explode. oh my God, I've made life-changing money. I can retire myself and my entire family now. Which one is the better extreme? I have 10K, but I miss out on life-changing money, or I lose 10K, or I make life-changing money. It's a lot easier to cope with losing $10,000 than it would be for me to cope with missing out on life-changing money. It's that simple. It's that simple for me. It is so much easier for me to cope with losing some amount of money that I've made at work than it is for me to miss out on millions of dollars. All right. Bitcoin, $69,326. Let's go see what Grok said. Why does it keep doing this? Investing $5,200 annually at Bitcoin's 5-year average return to reach $1 million. Switching from weekly to annual lump sum investments at year start. All right, and I think we have to stay here while it's doing that. So I'm going to stay here. JY's Avenger said, get rich or die trying. Exactly. That's the whole J.L. Collins thing. Avoid debt. Live on less than what you earn and invest the surplus. So if I'm making... Example, what did we do for minimum wage? Minimum wage in Michigan is about to switch to $15. 15 times 40 hours a week, 600. If I make $600 a week, and that's minimum wage in Michigan, 40 hours a week, $15 an hour. If I make $600 a week, I have to make sure that I'm not spending $600 a week. And let's do that math times 4. And this is hard. I understand that this is hard. $2,400 a month. Let's say your rent's $1,000. You're really lucky and your rent's $1,000. You got $1,400 left to spend. You have to make sure that your monthly expenses are not $1,400 after rent. And sometimes that sucks and that's hard, but that's what you got to do. Even if you can just put $100 a month, so you got $1,300 to spend on everything else. $100 a month into investing. You're going to be a lot farther ahead in a couple of years than somebody that isn't doing that. JY's Adventure said, get rich or die trying. You'll die anyway. Might as well try to achieve your lifelong dreams. We are in the age where getting rich is the easiest it's been. Every day I'm on social media, I see new rich people. It's not like it's as rare to be rich now. 100%. I agree. The tools alone, the tools available to us to get rich are insane. And I feel like the big problem is people always want to get rich the easy way. And then they fall into these weird drop shipping traps, or like, sign up for my course to figure out how to earn passive income on bullshit that I just made up. And then everyone's like, oh, they're signing up, and they're not realizing that that guy's passive income is you signing up for his dumbass course. That's his passive income. He didn't actually become a real estate mogul. He just got a bunch of people to sign up to his shit to have enough money to invest in real estate. And then he became a real estate mogul. I'm just saying. It's really easy to LARP. But there's other ways to make money very easily. Like, all you have to do is get your hands dirty. Gourmet Brands said, never sell the whole bag, but definitely take profits when you are mentally satisfied with the price. So if we're here 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and I have $1 million of Bitcoin, why wouldn't I take a loan against that? I'm just saying. Obviously, I'm going to take profit. I'm going to take $500K out, maybe $750K, get a loan against $250,000. Is what it is. You got to diversify your profit taking as well. All right. Grok disconnected again? Get out of here. What is going on? Why is it broken? Am I crazy? Why is it breaking? I'm going to go to freaking Gemini, Google Gemini. See what Gemini has to say since Grok doesn't want to answer. Alright, we are on Google Gemini. Let's see if Grok actually answers first. If I just buy $5,200 of Bitcoin every January 1st, annually, based on the average annual return for Bitcoin from the last 5 years, how long would it take to make $1 million? Come on, Grok. Alright, I'm going to do Google. Grok was unable to reply. Get out of here. This is crazy. Alright, I'm doing Gemini. I'm going to just read it to you guys. This is ridiculous. Never encountered a problem like this before. Bitcoin, $69,213.07. Alts are pretty tame. You know it's going to be exciting when alts start to outperform. They haven't yet. Total 3 square. It's been a while since we've looked at total 2 and total crypto market cap. So let's back up here. I don't mind seeing this trade sideways. We've seen this before. The spike, the drop, the sideways, the spike, the drop, the sideways, the spike, the drop, the sideways. Just saying. Obviously, again, we got the lower low, so take that with a grain of salt. Okay, based on Bitcoin's performance over the last 5 years, here's the breakdown of how long it would take to reach $1 million. 21 to 22, you're up 61%. 22 to 23, you're down 63. Oh, so they're just, the average return would look like January 1st of each year. Okay. Arithmetic average return, 51.53. The simple average of every 5 yearly percentages. Compound annual growth rate, 24.67%. Actual smooth rate of return. Time to reach $1 million. It would take you, so if you do the 51.53 average annual return, it would take you 10 years. If you do the 24.67 realistic growth, it would take 16.6 years. If you just do 5,200 every January 1st. While 10 years is the answer based on mathematical average of those 5 numbers, in the world of investing, compounded annual growth rate, 16.6 years, is considered a more realistic projection. This is because the average return is often skewed by massive up years like 2023 and 2024. You have to compensate for massive down years like 2022. If Bitcoin continues to growth at the same pace it has over the last 5 years, you would expect to hit your $1 million mark goal in your 17th year of investing. There you go. And again, diminishing returns, extended cycle diminishing returns argument, all that stuff. Get Elon on the phone. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Grok is broke. Like, maybe he has no money as well. Not only is he not working, but because he's not working, he has no money. Whoa, I just realized what broke means. Holy shit. I just blew my own mind. When you're broke, you don't work, and you have no money. Wow. Holy shit. That's so badass. Broke, no work, no money. Wow. That's pretty cool. I never thought about that. All right. I'm going to end the poll. I asked you guys, Bitcoin at the end of 2026, what's the number? 38% of you guys said 60 to 70K purgatory range bound. 24% of you guys said 150K plus hyper Bitcoinization. 25% of you guys said 90 to 120K steady growth. And 13% of you guys said back to 50K Bitcoin is dead. We'll see what actually happens. I'm excited. You should be excited as well. 88 Metals Mania. Wait, hold on. Let me check the chat. Yep. 88 Metals. Oh, okay. JY's Adventure said, I agree, Gourmet. Always secure profits. Leave the moon bag. Gourmet said, get Elon on the phone. JY's Adventure said, wait, I don't get it. So when something is broke, like if you have a toy, a little wind-up toy, and it breaks, it doesn't work anymore. Right? Broken means it doesn't work. When I am broke, when I have no money, it's because I don't work. If I don't work, then I have no money. Therefore, I am broke. It's like a circle. That just blew my mind, dude. Like a broken clock doesn't work. No work, no money equals broke. I have no money. That was pretty cool. I've never really thought about that. That's such a stupid thing to be excited about. That is pretty exciting, though. All right, total 2. Total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin. All right, we've talked about this a bunch of times. Yeah, my only concern here is that this is ascending. Now, we've seen ascending here break to the upside. This ascending has broken to the upside. What else? I don't know, man. It's just weird. It's weird. Jay Wesavinger said, dang, so there's billions of broken human beings. The elite are messed up for that. Right? It's all psychological, man. If I think to myself, oh no, I'm poor, rich people are better than me, I'm pissed off because I don't have money like them, so I suck and I'm mad and I'm broke and I'm poor. That's the wrong way to think about it. I think to myself, there's a way to get to that, so I need to figure out that way. I need to work hard and figure that out. Fight fan said broken clock is right twice a day, and a beggar still finds a way to get high. Maybe not necessarily a beggar, a crackhead. There's a famous quote. Is it from Sailor? There's a quote from somebody. I don't remember who it was. They were talking about that. Because people were like, how do you get money for this? And then they explained, they're like, crackheads still find a way to get high and get a fix that day. If people can figure out a way to get money that way, you can figure out a way to get a job, or you can figure out a way to get extra money for investing, whatever you got to do. I have one full-time job, and I have so many side gigs that I do. I do labor. I've done like landscaping work. I've done mechanic work. I've done everything. I do computer and electronics repair. What else do I do? I've done some graphic design stuff. You got to diversify your income, especially when the market's this way. Focus on what you can control. If you can increase your income, then you can increase your dollar cost average, or whatever it is to you. Maybe you don't dollar cost average. Maybe you just invest a lump sum once a year. Whatever you do, you increase your income, man. You got to either make yourself worth more at work and then insist that they give you a raise, tell them that they're going to give you a raise, or maybe you reduce your hours at work and you focus on other income streams. Start your own business. Whatever you got to do, man. Justin Crypto said, I'm honestly opening 10x longs on my favorite plays right now. What platform are you using, Crypto? Justin Crypto? I like me some Bit Unix. Be careful with those 10x longs. That's scary. Scary stuff. Even 2x, 3x is still more than 1x. Be careful with leverage, man. Cash Joke said there's a quote from Sailor, if you don't think Bitcoin is going to 1 million, you're a loser. Dude, Sailor has so many funny quotes. My favorite one from him, the one that sounds not cringe, is this is such a good one. My favorite Sailor quote is, Bitcoin is the exit strategy. I think that's the most badass thing he's ever said. And he said some goofy, crazy shit. Bitcoin is the exit strategy is so freaking cool. Jay Wesavinger said, going long in a bear market will wreck you. Yeah, Justin Crypto, be careful with 10x. I'll catch the bottom one of these times. Sometimes you just gotta gamble, dude. It's fun. Sometimes you do. I can respect it. You're an adult. Just don't burn yourself out, man. I walked away for a couple weeks, man. I just deposited back into Bit Unix. Weeks. Well, if you're ever looking for another platform, I got links in the description, affiliate links, help support the channel. I recommend Bit Unix. I've never used Weeks. I've heard good things, though. I might check it out. I might hit you up for a referral. Jay Wesavinger said, what someone with unlimited would say? Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. All right. Total 2 is quiet, man. It's just kind of what I like about Total 2, I guess, is that we do still got a potential for a higher low. Like, we're really probably cutting it close. No, that wick right there is higher. Yeah, so if we go up from here, then we are still higher low. On Total 2 specifically. Justin Crypto said, I changed my life with a Caspa 30x long from 5 cents to 12 cents. I couldn't believe it. That's awesome, dude. Hell yeah. Congratulations. My buddy Miles was he was big into Caspa. Whoops, clicked on the wrong thing. There we go. Okay. This one's a little bit messy too. I gotta get out of here. Hold on, let me clear some of this stuff out because we don't need half the shit. I'm gonna get rid of all the green lines. They're pretty much useless. We know numbers. Numbers are easy. Oh my gosh, look at how much better that looks. Wow. My estimate for total market cap, April, May 2026. I don't know. See, what sucks about this is we had this lower trend line right here that we were watching, and we broke below that. So back here, we have 2-month spike, 9-month bleed, 5-month spike, 5-month bleed, 9-month spike, 2-month bleed. And then we had this sideways chop, and now we're bleeding again. This is definitely a bull market to bear market transition. How long is this bear market going to last? I have no idea. Justin Crypto said, longing the bottom will change your life. Hell yeah. Couldn't agree more, my friend. Could not agree more. It's catching that bottom. You got to be able to, you got to have stamina. You got to have stamina. You got to have the stamina and the endurance to sit through all of the liquidations, and then eventually you nail it, and then you make life-changing money, dude. I respect it. I do. Look at this. Is total crypto market cap going to hit, and where do I put this? It's in the way. This is so big. Put it right there. I'll put it right there. Is total crypto market cap going to come down to 2 trillion? Even 1.9. Justin Crypto said, my daughter is the first in the world to sell digital lemonade for Caspa. That's awesome, dude. All right. How old's your daughter? My daughter's turning 15. Wow. My daughter's turning 15 in April. That's weird. That's so weird. I don't like that. That's tripping me out. All right. Yeah, let's see if this thing hits 1.8. 2 trillion. For the final touch, the final pullback. And that's not, like, I don't have too much conviction in that. That's strictly based on this random arbitrary trend line from back there. I feel like there's a million different trend lines that you could pull, but we'll see what happens. What would that equate? If that happened at that exact point in time, let's go, how long would that be? That would be a 160 days. 160 days. 160 divided by 30. That would be 5.3. So 5 months bleed. Okay. The same as this. It's a little bit farther down. Nice spider lines, LOL. I need to sign up for Market Cipher. Okay, I personally would not recommend paying for Market Cipher. This is free version. It's called Fu Manchu Cipher B Divergences. It is literally a copy paste of the Market Cipher code. So I wouldn't sign up for Market Cipher. CryptoFace, great guy. Same indicator for free. Kind of gouges for the price as well. Just get Fu Manchu Cipher B plus divergences. It's literally free on TradingView. I don't pay for TradingView either. I refuse to give them money. I can just look up the chart. I'm paying them for an extra symbol. You know, you don't need 1,000 things on your chart. Some people like 1,000 things. You know, everybody's different. I have not found any strategy better or worse than just not having 18 indicators on my chart versus having 18 indicators on my chart. So I don't know. Just be careful out there, man. People convince you to sign up for all their stuff and pay for all their stuff and do all their things, and then, you know, half your money that you could be dollar cost averaging with is getting flushed down the toilet and sent to, you know, Joe Blow in Dubai. So be careful. That's a scary age, 15. Yikes. I know, I'm terrified. She's a smart kid. She's ridiculously smart. She's homeschooled too, so that's good. She does stuff. Like, my fiance is like a frequent director at the theater and stuff like that, so my daughter's pretty much grown up in the theater, which is pretty cool. I feel like not a lot of kids get to do that. That sounds like a sick way to grow up, in my opinion. She does everything. She, like, sews, knits. She's got an acoustic guitar that she shreds on. She's better at me than at guitar. We got her an electric guitar for her birthday last year. And pretty much everything that she's wanted to do, we've let her do it, and she excels at, like, tremendously. It's kind of crazy, because my dumb ass, when I was a kid, I'd be like, I like this, and then, like, a month later I'd forget about it. My parents wasted money, you know. I have a piano in my closet that's rotting away. I can play it, like, a little bit. I don't know. It's cool. Cool having a kid. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. All right, Bitcoin, $69,168 and 1 penny. Silver's 89.45. We're gonna break 90 today. That'd be crazy. Gold needs to get about 52. Market looks good, man. I'm actually excited. This is weirdly exciting. All this craziness. Some volatility. Let's see how much this fractal plays out. This is a goofy little fractal. I was not expecting this to be this good. We got a minor deviation here and a minor deviation here, but the rest of it's been pretty spot on. I don't know. I'm gonna go get some dinner though. I'm a very hungry boy, so I'm gonna love and leave y'all. Appreciate you guys for being here as always. When the market starts to do anything crazy or anything at all, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Monday and good night. Oh yeah, join the Discord, by the way, if you haven't already. It's in the description. Completely free. Ton of fun. Community of like-minded degenerates, if you will. Good night.